Like me and suffer from toenail fungus, please pay close attention. Let's face it, toe fungus is embarrassing. I was afraid to take my socks off and hid my yellowing, crumbly toes from everybody. But nail fungus isn't just a cosmetic problem. It can also be dangerous. Even a small spot can spread and get worse. But no matter what I tried, it seemed like my fungus would never go away. Then I discovered Crystal Flush, the new FDA registered at home treatment. This unique two-step system flushes out fungus at its source and reverses damaged nails. Finally, me and thousands of others are free from fungus. And you can be too. Call now, and for a limited time, you can try Crystal Flush risk-free for 30 days. Call 800-764-9219. That's 800-764-9219. Eliminate your toe fungus once and for all, guaranteed. Call now, 800-764-9219. Or visit crystalflush.com.
The Capitol Statuary Hall has installed its first likeness honoring a black woman from Florida.
The honoree is civil rights leader and educator Mary McLeod Bethune. Students watched it all on the big screen at Bethune-Cookman University in Daytona Beach, the school she founded in 1904.
It's crazy how she started and made this institution with 5 little girls and $1.50.
Bethune pushed FDR and Harry Truman to integrate the military. She helped start this organization.
Please give to the United Negro College Fund. A mind is a terrible thing to waste.
A biographer says she was the Oprah, Booker T. Washington, and Martin Luther King Jr. of her time. Peter King, CBS News, Orlando.
Ticket prices skyrocketing for a Broadway revival that's swapping out its leading lady.
Hello, gorgeous.
Days after Beanie Feldstein announced she was departing Funny Girl early, making way for Leah Michele to replace her, tickets going for as much as $2,500. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Dirty exterior? Don't scrub it. Wet it and forget it. Wet and forget. The easy outdoor cleaner. Wet and Forget works overtime with Mother Nature to eliminate unsightly black and green stains on the exterior of your home with no scrubbing, power washing, or bleach. Use Wet and Forget on all your outdoor surfaces, including decks, siding, roofs, and patios. Wet and Forget is available as a concentrate or extreme reach hose end. Purchase Wet and Forget in-store or online at Lowe's, Menards, Ace, or Walmart.
Are you in trouble with the IRS? Clara was too until she called Civic Tax Relief.
Dealing with the IRS was a stressful time. When I got a hold of Civic Tax Relief, all that stress was taken away. It made the process easy.
Call for a free consultation. 800-841-0908. 800-841-0908. Discover all the relief programs you qualify for in the first free call. 800-841-0908. 800-841-0908.
It's a fact. Guys hate going to the doctor. But when it comes to erectile dysfunction and low testosterone issues, men from all over Montgomery have been thrilled seeing Dr. Alderson with the providers at Montgomery Men's Health. Men all the way up to 95 years old have jump-started their sex drive and energy levels. Lots of men suffer with ED for years, but now they're able to enjoy sex again. Tom from Montgomery said, Montgomery Men's Health has changed my life. I've been able to be intimate with my wife for the first time in 5 years. She thought the problem was because of her, but the pills never worked for me. I had given up until I went to the clinic and realized there were more options for erectile dysfunction. Now I'm happy and my wife is happy. A visit for only $99, and that includes all testing, including a PSA and testosterone test. Give the guys a call at 334-440-3663. That's 334-440-3663.
If you're struggling with weight and frustrated with dieting each and every year, Mark Patrick Seminars can help. Join the over 500,000 people who have attended Mark Patrick Seminars with weight loss results. Mark Patrick Seminars will be in Montgomery on Wednesday, July 27th.
After this hypnosis, I wanted good food.
Since August, I can honestly say I've
still
not had
no.
one potato chip.
It was life-changing for me.
And I don't think that reserves like I used to.
Bridget, how much have you lost now?
I lost a total of 83 pounds.
Holy cow.
It's easy, it's fun, very relaxing, and very successful.
And I would just say go for it.
For only $49.99, lose all the weight you want, 100% guaranteed. Wednesday, July 27th at the Hilton Garden Inn East in Montgomery. Seminar time is 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Registration begins at 5 p.m. Attend this program and find out how the power of hypnosis can help you achieve your weight loss goals. There's limited seating, so get there early. Learn more at markpatrickseminars.com.
It could be information to change your life forever.
Or the Something You Should Know podcast could just be something interesting. Eve Turow-Paul, she's author of a book called Hungry.
Identifying yourself by what you don't eat on its surface can seem silly. A lot of these behaviors are driven by things like loneliness. Food on social media is a social currency, but also a way to facilitate connection.
Join Mike Carruthers and guests for Something You Should Know. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Don't miss Sean Hannity.
Biden incoherently adheres
Live this afternoon at 2 p.m. on News Radio 1440.
Alrighty then. Oh, it's over here. Over here.
Your WSFA First Alert Weather Forecast on News Radio 1440.
Sponsored by Blindster. Do you need new blinds or shades? Blindster.com offers custom-made blind shades and shutters shipped directly to you at prices less than big box retailers. Blindster blinds are easy to install and guaranteed to fit. Don't overpay for new blinds. Shop Blindster today and save big. Blindster.com.
Pretty good chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms today as early as this morning in eastern Alabama. Then throughout the day, anybody can see shower and storm activity. Will not rain all day, but the chance of getting wet at some point, not bad, around 60%. Highs generally in the upper 80s. We end up dry in the low 70s tonight. Scattered showers and storms tomorrow. Highs in the low 90s. Lower rain chances this weekend around 30% with highs again in the 90s. That's your First Alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Tyler Seabury for News Radio 1440.
Montgomery Skywatch traffic brought to you by Brubaker Motors. It's better at Brubaker on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, Montgomery. 85 southbound at Chantilly Parkway. We've got an accident with injury, so please use caution. 85 southbound Chantilly Parkway, the Atlanta Highway exit. Watch for an accident with injury. Outside of that, we're looking good. Nothing else being reported that would send you on an alternate route. Keep listening. We'll keep you posted. No money down and your good credit gets you any vehicle on the lot at Reinhardt Used Car Supercenter. Trucks, cars, SUVs, it's all at Reinhardt Used Car Supercenter on the East Boulevard. Buckle up, folks. It's the law. For Montgomery Skywatch traffic, this is Major Delay.
You love your car, yes? But why are you not loving it with those tires that carry you and your family everywhere? Let Chico's Auto Pros show some love with our super savings on tires. Chico's Auto Pros.
Good morning, I'm Jasmine Williams at WSFA 12 News. Here's what's happening this Thursday. Prisoner deaths have many raising questions about conditions within Alabama prisons. 7 deaths were reported inside of Donaldson correctional facilities this month alone. Jefferson County Chief Deputy Coroner says the deaths aren't connected. There are no signs of trauma or foul play. He says they include natural diseases, but there is a chance drug overdoses have played a role too. COVID-19 cases are on the rise. Here in Alabama, the Department of Public Health reports that as of Tuesday, 636 hospital patients across the state have tested positive for COVID-19. It's the highest number Alabama has seen since the end of February. This weekend is the state's back-to-school tax-free weekend. It starts at midnight Friday morning and runs through Sunday at midnight. You can buy things for the new school year without paying the state sales tax. This includes most clothes, diapers, school supplies, computers, and more. I'm Jasmine Williams, and these are your morning headlines.
The economy is heading for a total disaster. The Fed must choose between a stock market and housing market crash or hyperinflation high. This is Stephen K. Bannon, and I urge you to diversify your retirement savings into physical gold today. To help you get started, my friends at Birch Gold have created a free information kit on gold IRAs. To get your free copy, just text Safeguard to 989898. There's no obligation or purchase required. Again, that's Safeguard to 989898.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/trial. That's ZipRecruiter.com/trial.
When it's time to get a new vehicle, Larry Puckett Chevrolet is the best place to find your new Chevy or a great used car. New cars, SUVs, and trucks are being delivered daily, and Larry Puckett has their largest selection of pre-owned vehicles in over a year. Check them out online at LarryPuckett.com or visit them on Cobbs Ford Road in Prattville. And if you have an extra vehicle, bring it in for an instant cash offer. Whether you're selling or trading, your vehicle will never be worth more. Larry Puckett Chevrolet, where the customers do the talking.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking guaranteed. Only $49.99. Hypnosis designed to destroy unwanted cravings, late night eating binges, boredom eating, stress eating, and stop smoking. This hypnosis is designed to destroy your desire to smoke without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back. The weight loss seminar is Wednesday, July 27th at Hilton Garden Inn East in Montgomery from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Registration begins at 5 p.m. Stop smoking seminar starts at 8 p.m. Registration starts at 7:30 p.m.
Telling it like it really is.
That's the fact, Jack!
It's the Dan Bongino Show, weekdays from 11 to 2 on News Radio 1440. Sometimes you need to reset, refocus on your day. The moment where you take a deep breath and change the focus from the problem to the problem solver. This is Decisions with Kevin Elkins.
Tomorrow morning, if you wake up
And good morning, Montgomery, Alabama. It is time to rise and shine once again, if you can. For it is another day, believe it or not, you're on top of the ground, and the ground's not on top of you. Be thankful for that. You should greet this day more enthusiastically than you've ever greeted any day in your life. Because this day, like all the others, was never promised. Good morning to you. It is time for our daily bread. I'm Kevin Elkins. It's a great day to be alive. It is July the 14th, 2022 AD. Today's daily bread is simply entitled Flexing Your Faith Muscles. Our scripture insight today comes from Psalms 46, as a matter of fact. Psalm 46 and 10 says, the Lord says, be still and know that I am God. Govern yourselves accordingly. And again, it is July the 14th, 2022 AD. It is a day like all the others that it's never been. And it is a day that shall never, ever come again. And once it's gone, you don't get a do-over. You don't get it back. You don't get to summon it from the past. You don't get to come back and do all the things that you should do today that you don't. And you don't get a chance to come back and undo the things that you do. So whatever it is that you decide to do with this day, make sure that if tomorrow should be, you'll be proud of what you have done on this day. If you've lived a while, you've seen, you've heard many, many yesterdays. And if we are blessed and given the grace of God, we may, I'm not sure, but we may see some tomorrows. But if tomorrow should never be, then it is this day. That is the first day of the rest of your life. What are you going to do with it? Well, whatever you do, when you can, while you can, until you can't, reach back along the way and give somebody else a helping hand. Benjamin Elijah May said, whatever you do in life, we should do it so well that no man living and no man dead and no man yet to be born can do it any better. And I say, if that is the standard by which you live life, you shall always be successful. Or you'll fail at a thing or two. We all do. But you will never be a failure until you quit. Quitters never win. And winners, well, they may fail at a thing or two. They never quit. They get back up off the ground. They know that it's not how many times you fall. It's how many times you're willing to get up. that makes the difference. So never give up. Never, ever quit. Rest if you can. But never, ever quit. Never, ever give up. Because quitters don't win. And winners, oh, they may fail at a thing or two, but they never quit. So don't you. Good morning to you. Flexing faith muscles. Be still and know that I am God. That's our daily bread for today, July the 14th. Good morning to you, Montgomery. It's a great day to be alive. Don't you think so?
Hello, my name is Sochi Dixon. Welcome to today's encouragement from our daily bread. Today, I share a memory that changed my perspective on waiting in flexing faith muscles. During a trip to the zoo, I stopped to rest near the sloth exhibit. The creature hung upside down. He seemed content being completely still. I sighed. Because of my health issues, I struggled with stillness and desperately wanted to move forward, to do something, anything. Resenting my limitations, I longed to stop feeling so weak. But while staring at the sloth, I observed how he stretched one arm, gripped a nearby branch, and stopped again. Being still required strength. If I wanted to be content with moving slowly or being as still as the sloth, I needed more than incredible muscle power. To trust God with every dragging moment of my life, I needed supernatural power. In Psalm 46, the writer proclaims that God doesn't just give us strength, He is our strength. No matter what's going on around us, the Lord Almighty is with us. The psalmist repeats this truth with conviction. Like the sloth, our day-to-day adventures often require slow steps and extended periods of seemingly impossible stillness. When we rely on God's unchanging character, we can depend on His strength, no matter what plan and pace He determines is right for us. Though we may continue to battle afflictions or struggle with waiting, God remains faithfully present. Even when we don't feel strong, He'll help us flex our faith muscles. Today's Our Daily Bread devotional scripture reading is from Psalm 46. God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. Therefore, we will not fear, though the earth give way and the mountains fall into the heart of the sea, though its waters roar and foam and the mountains quake with their surging. There is a river whose streams make glad the city of God, the holy place where the Most High dwells. God is within her. She will not fall. God will help her at break of day. Nations are in uproar. Kingdoms fall. He lifts His voice. The earth melts. The Lord Almighty is with us. The God of Jacob is our fortress. Come and see what the Lord has done, the desolations He has brought on the earth. He makes wars cease to the ends of the earth. He breaks the bow and shatters the spear. He burns the shields with fire. He says, "Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. The Lord Almighty is with us. The God of Jacob is our fortress." Let's pray. God Almighty, thank you for giving us opportunities to flex our faith muscles by trusting you to be our strength. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Today's encouragement was provided by Our Daily Bread Ministries.
Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. Of course. Come on now. Time to rise and shine. Last day of PT. Last day of PT. Airborne. Every day. That's right. We don't do PT on Fridays. To the sun.
No sweat.
Not yet. Down in the mess hall on my knee.
Down in the mess hall on my knee.
We got nothing to eat but a can of beans.
Nothing to eat but a can of beans.
The bread was moldy and the meat was bad.
It was molded and the meat was wet.
You know darn well that you can't eat that.
Hey, you know darn well that you can't eat that. Here we go.
Here we go.
All
the way. Gotta be
tough.
Rough and tough. Airborne all the way.
All the way.
When I was young, I always wanted to be in the 82nd Airborne, needs a breeze. Now that I'm here, I'm gonna do it right. Jump from an aircraft while in flight.
All the way airborne.
That's right. Let's get it. Let's get it. Time to rise and shine. Early one morning in the frizzling rain, well, I picked up my parachute, boarded the plane. Jump master said 1 minute to go. Green light
with the
growling blow. Oh, yeah. It's great to be a paratrooper this morning. In the rain. We love it. We love it.
All the way airborne, all the way driving on.
Almost crawled to work this morning.
Here we go.
Here we go. All the way.
Gotta be.
Rough and tough. Airborne all the way. Okay, it's the last day for PT, so let's get ready. Let's knock this on out. And somebody get the first sergeant major, and the mayor. It's raining. We don't care. Be a man. Get wet.
Run some more. Run a little, run some more.
Well, when your left foot strikes the ground.
When your left foot strikes the ground.
Well, I will hear that clapping sound.
Let me hear that clapping sound.
When I'm airborne all the way. Every left, every day. All right. Looking good. All right. Dynamite. Everybody. Sound off. Everybody. Let me hear you. In the rear. Keep it tight. In the middle. Dress it right. In the front. Rock steady. Rough and ready. 80 deuce. Here we go.
80 deuce. Airborne. 80 mean. Rough and tough.
Rough and tough.
Hey you.
Hey you.
How you feel?
How you feel?
Feeling good.
Feeling good.
All right.
Dynamite. Out of sight.
Feeling good.
Feeling good. Motivated. Dedicated. Wanna be airborne. Airborne. Woo! Yes, I made it. Yes, I made it to the end of PT for the week. I'm still here on top of the ground. The ground's not on top of me, you either. So let's get enthusiastically motivated today and get out there and hit the bricks. Make it happen. Whatever it is that you want to happen, make it happen. Anyway, good morning to you. Now we are our armed forces of these United States of America. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and Coast Guard, and Space Force, and the Montgomery Sheriff Department, the Montgomery Police Department, the Mayor's Office, ambulance drivers, firemen, all the people who go in when everybody else is going the other way. Good morning, Mr. Mayor and Alabama National Guard. Good morning. And if anybody see First Sergeant Leonard out there, tell him I still got his flag. I'm bringing it back sooner or later. I'll wait until after Veterans Day. Unless you're going to make me do push-ups, and I'll get it down there today. know the problem with being retired as a sergeant? Hell, everybody still outranks you. so you still got to do what everybody say. Although I'm gonna lie to you, I wouldn't have made a good officer. You know, that never would have happened. I've been in Leavenworth, probably just now getting out. They're known for that great motto, Semper Fi, or Semper Fidelis. But whether it's Semper Fidelis or Semper Fi, it all means the same thing. Always, always faithful, the United States Marines. I still want to be a Marine. Am I too old to go through basic? Yeah, probably so. They still got the best looking uniforms of all of the services, although the Army's number 2. Yeah, the Army's number 2. We can live that. But now, my alma mater, an organization with storied units such as the 82nd Airborne, the 1st Cav, the 1st Infantry, the Big Red 1, 2nd ID, 8th ID, 3rd ID. You name it, we got them. The 2nd and 75th Infantry, also known as the United States Army Rangers, and the Green Berets, also known as Special Forces. It don't get no better than that. Yeah, I know it ain't right, but I'm saying it don't get no better than that. Wait, you think that's the end of it? Not quite yet. And the Army go rolling along. Okay, now it's time to rise and shine. Listen, if you don't get motivated after hearing all of that first thing in the morning, you need to check your pulse. You know, you need to go to the mirror, blow in the glass, and make sure you're still here. Okay, because if you can hear all of that, then you're doing pretty good this morning. Because there are a lot of folks who can. Somebody went to sleep last night, didn't wake up this morning, and somebody will go to sleep tonight and won't wake up tomorrow. So you just hope that you're one of the group that's on top of the ground, and the ground's not on top of you. Good morning to you. It's a great day to be alive. Of course, I don't never complain on any day. There's no such thing as a bad day because there are no bad days. There are bad things that happen in the day, but there are no bad days. So I don't want to hear anybody say, okay, it's a bad day. Now, you know, I was in the coffee room a couple minutes ago. Now I'm gonna see if all you guys agree with me on this, okay? Now, my program director, which is Paul Horton. Paul's got a little bitty cup. Got a little bitty cup, you know. Okay, I mean, it don't look like a man's cup. Okay, it don't look like a man's cup. Okay, it just don't. So I had to get on him about that cup. Okay. Okay. Man, somebody said that's going across. Man, a tree fell down. Whoa, that's good. See, the good Lord looking out for you while they was driving to work. Good. I'm glad you're still with us. Outstanding. And no harm, hurt, or danger came to you. So anyway, so I go to Paul. I said, Paul, you know, that cup's kind of, you know, that's kind of girly. That's a girly cup. I mean, come on, man, get a real cup. Get a cup like I got. Got that Auburn. I mean, got the Alabama Roll Tide thing on it. It's big, holds much coffee in it, and all that kind of stuff, you know. And so I'm sitting there ragging the guy, right? I'm ragging him, but he got me. He got me. He got me. So he looked at my cup, and he looked at me, said, well, Elkins, I don't put sugar in my coffee, nor do I put cream in my coffee. Now, I sat there for a second, stunned. I was stunned that for the first time in a long time, somebody got me. Okay? Because normally I'm the getter. But this morning, okay, I've had to change my attitude because what he was saying was this: real men don't take cream and sugar in their coffee. And as I sat there cogitating on that fact, and since he did put me in my rightful place, I mean, he had a little girly looking cup, but he had the man stuff in the cup. I had the man looking cup, but I had girly stuff in it. So starting tomorrow, if I live in that house, starting tomorrow, I shall no longer take cream and sugar in my coffee. I'm going to drink it black and be a real man, okay? And one more thing. I know it was raining hard today. It was raining. It was raining cats and dogs. I got you. But a real man does not carry an umbrella, okay? You just don't. That's kind of like putting cream and sugar in the coffee. Now, I forgive you guys who walk around, you know, with umbrellas up until this day. But today, you have learned what you're supposed to do. So you give up the umbrellas, and starting tomorrow, the good Lord says the same. I'm still here. Somebody said, stop hating on umbrella. I'm not. But real men do not use umbrellas. And as of today, I found out that real men don't put cream and sugar in their coffee. So tomorrow when I come here, if you catch me on Facebook or on the air, you'll notice that my coffee will be black, kind of like me. Black. No sugar, no cream, no water. I also put water in it just to water it down a little bit because it was too strong. Man, I tell you, I felt like a sissy today. Come on, man. That hurt me though. That hurt me. That hurt me because here I am thinking I'm the man, paratrooper and all that stuff, jump out of airplanes all over the world and going to places unknown. Can't tell you about it. If I had to tell you, I had to kill you. So I'm thinking I am the specimen of an American man. But then Paul hurt my feelings. Then he says, well, why are you putting cream and sugar in coffee? What can I say? I stood there stunned. I've never been that stunned in my life. I was sitting there stunned. Maybe nobody else has ever had the gonads to tell me that because they thought I might, mess them up or something. But I learned. And when I learned, okay, I adhere. So as of tomorrow, real men don't put cream and sugar and certainly don't water it down like I do with water. Okay, you learn something every day. So I did. So no umbrellas, be a man, no umbrellas, no cream and sugar in the coffee, have it black, don't put water in the coffee like I was doing it because it was kind of strong. Man, I feel bad today. Okay, but as of tomorrow, no cream and sugar in my coffee. Okay, I'm just telling you, that's not going to happen. Okay, now let me take a break. Come back with what I'm coming back with. With lessons of life, the things you learn by living, because there's no other substitute for that. Good morning to you. That's how I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good, except the guy, took me a notch down this morning. I mean, I'm not going to look at cream and sugar the way I used to look at it from now on. I'll be back. But today, I'm drinking it. The best that you can do. The best that you can do. All of his life, his master's choice.
Blinds, shades, and shutters shipped directly to you at prices less than big box retailers. Blindster blinds are easy to install and guaranteed to fit. And right now, save 45% off any order. Just use code RADIO at checkout. Blindster.com.
Pretty good chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms today as early as this morning in eastern Alabama. Then throughout the day, anybody could see shower and storm activity. Will not rain all day, but the chance of getting wet at some point not bad, around 60%. Highs generally in the upper 80s. We end up dry in the low 70s tonight. Scattered showers and storms tomorrow. Highs in the low 90s. Lower rain chances this weekend around 30%, with highs again in the 90s. That's your first alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Tyler Seabury for News Radio 1440.
Montgomery Skywatch traffic brought to you by Brubaker Motors. It's better at Brubaker on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, Montgomery. 85 southbound Chantilly Parkway. We've got an accident there with injury. It's affecting traffic in both directions approaching this accident site, so please be advised. Also, traffic backed up now from Pike Road halfway to Shorter, probably due to this same problem. So be careful heading southbound on 85, heading into Montgomery. An equity loan or cash out refinance on your home may be just a phone call away. We'll call the company that answers their phone when you call. Call MCS in Wetumpka, 567-9000. That's 567-9000. NMLS 232876. Buckle up, folks. It's the law. For Montgomery Skywatch traffic, this is Major Delay.
You love your car, yes? But why are you not loving it with those tires that carry you and your family everywhere? Let Chico's Auto Pros show some love with our super savings on tires. Chico's Auto Pros.
Amazon has been in the gaming space for some time now with the release of several games and purchasing Twitch, but the company is trying to up their game in esports with the announcement of the Amazon Prime Gaming Ultimate Showdown. This event is Amazon's largest esports event yet, spanning across multiple game titles yet to be announced and offering a prize of $50,000 for the grand finale at TwitchCon on October 7th.
The latest esports and gaming news. Find it online at checkpointxp.com.
Pete's property manager just took an extended vacation. He needs a replacement before this becomes a cruel summer.
You wanted the lakefront for the 17th. I just get double booked already.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Earn up to $500 in sponsored job credits by conducting interviews on Indeed. Visit Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
Thinking about life insurance? What if you could make one free phone call and learn the best price from up to 10 price competitive companies? Well, that's exactly what happens when you call SelectQuote.
No more cream and sugar. I got it.
George is 39. He was getting sky-high quotes from other companies because he takes meds to control his blood pressure. But when I shopped around, I found him a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $22 a month. I'm SelectQuote agent Dan Savino, and believe me, if SelectQuote isn't shopping for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 800-890-6688. That's 800-890-6688. 800-890-6688. Or go to SelectQuote.com. Since 1985, we shop, you save.
Get full details on the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. The price can vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
Ron's Roofing knows that when a storm damages your roof, it's hard to know what to do next. Easy. Rely on the most trusted and recognized roofing name, Ron's Roofing. They'll help protect you from the next storm. Ron's Roofing understands that your roof is your home's first line of defense. That's why they work with all insurance companies to ensure that your home is protected from any unexpected storms. A job won't get the Ron's Roofing name on it unless it's done right. Visit ronsroofing.com or call 215-0070.
First, we decide where we want to go. Then we need to know the best way to get there. Hi, my name's Adam Barada. I'm the owner of Advantage Gold. We're the highest rated precious metals firm in the country. We teach people how to own physical gold and silver. We've won the Best of Trustland Award 4 years in a row because we educate our clients on how to buy gold and silver the right way. We don't pay celebrity spokespeople millions of dollars. We'd rather pass that value on to you. Call 800-900-8000 and speak with one of our experts. We'll send you a free gold kit along with my latest #1 national best-selling book, The Great Devaluation. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000. Get the best information, the best process, the best service, the best value. Call Advantage Gold. 800-900-8000. Call 800-900-8000.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Consult with your financial advisor before investing.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking guaranteed for only $49.99. That's right, weight loss seminar Wednesday, July 27th at the Hilton Garden East in Montgomery. Time is 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Registration begins at 5 p.m. Stop smoking seminar starts at 8 p.m. Registration starts 7:30 p.m.
Hello, this is your Congressman Barry Moore. Do you need help with the VA, IRS, or Social Security? Navigating federal agencies can be tricky, and my office would love to help you out. Last year, we resolved over 800 cases and returned over $1 million to our constituents. Serving Alabama's 2nd Congressional District is my top priority, and we are ready to help you. Please visit my website at barrymore.house.gov or call my office at 334-478-6330.
This message was paid for by the official funds authorized by the U.S. House of Representatives.
It's a fact. Guys hate going to the doctor. But when it comes to erectile dysfunction and low testosterone issues, men from all over Montgomery have been thrilled seeing Dr. Alderson and the providers at Montgomery Men's Health. Men all the way up to 95 years old have jump-started their sex drive and energy levels. Lots of men suffer with ED for years, but now they're able to enjoy sex again. Tom from Montgomery said, Montgomery Men's Health has changed my life. I have been able to be intimate with my wife for the first time in 5 years. She thought the problem was because of her, but the pills never worked for me. I had given up until I went to the clinic and realized there were more options for erectile dysfunction. Now I'm happy and my wife is happy. A visit for only $99, and that includes all testing, including a PSA and testosterone test. Give the guys at the clinic a call at 334-440-3663. That's 334-440-3663. Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking guaranteed. Only $49.99. Hypnosis designed to destroy unwanted cravings, late night eating binges, boredom eating, stress eating, and stop smoking. This hypnosis is designed to destroy your desire to smoke without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back. The weight loss seminar is Wednesday, July 27th at Hilton Garden Inn East in Montgomery from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Registration begins at 5 p.m. Stop smoking seminar starts at 8 p.m. Registration starts at 7:30 p.m.
Telling it like it really is.
That's the fact, Jack!
It's the Dan Bongino Show, weekdays from 11 to 2 on News Radio 1440.
Reason to pretend. When it's right, you find
It is 6:45. You got to be there by 7 o'clock. You have about 15 minutes by which to arrive. It was raining when I came in, so you might want to give yourself a little bit of, and watch out for the water. Sometimes water on the road is deeper than you think it is. I mean, if you had a car like mine, me and JB, Jelly Bean, we tough. I mean, he belongs to a paratrooper, so he's kind of taking my personality, and he don't mind the water. But I'm just saying, your car may be called, jellyfish, so you might not want to, go in that water unless you know for sure that it's a place you're familiar with, that you're sure that water's not deep, because you can get stuck. I'm just saying. I'm just trying to help you out there. Anyway, good morning to you. People know I don't take calls this time. Morning. Come on, man. So you got to wait till next hour, bro. I got my lessons of life to go to this morning. Now, if I get done with lessons of life and you still there, I shall come and let you on, but let's not count on that, okay? I got the important stuff out, okay? Anyway, that Jimmy Valvano once said he did a speech at the ESPY Awards, ESPN Awards, in 1993, and he said every day you should do 3 things, and it's difficult to do all these 3 things, but I've had days where this was absolutely true. He said you need to laugh. Don't we all need laughter? Sometimes it's a cure for the soul. You need to cry. It cleanses the soul. And you need to think. It refreshes the soul. So you need to laugh, cry, and think. And after you do all of that, you have had a very, very special day. The word of the day means to directly opposite or oppose. And you hear this word a lot in talk radio. See, people in talk radio are trying to make you think that they all these words, but we just look these words up so we can sound smart. Antithetical. Antithetical means to be directly opposite of or opposed. Like me. See, some of you guys think that Trump wasn't cheated. I think he was. The system was manipulated. And I will always think that, no matter if I live to be 100 years old, the system was manipulated. Okay. And I don't, whether you call it manipulation or cheated, he was cheated. But others are antithetical to that because they say, shut up. He wasn't cheated. He lost fair and square. Well, there are people who believe that, and there are those that don't, and I'm one of those people that don't. Okay, but that's the word antithetical, means directly opposite or opposed. Okay, so I'm antithetical to the thought that the race was won fair and square. I don't think so. Now, here is the lessons of life today. And I want you to think about this for a second. Think about this for a second because this is good stuff. Sometimes, I don't know how often, but sometimes, when somebody's going through a tough time, when life seems to be crushing them down, and even us, when it happens to us, if you live, these things are going to happen to you. Most of them brought on by your own stupid decisions, like some of mine have been. But sometimes, a friend needs your heart rather than your words. He's probably all talked out. They've been given all the advice that anybody could take. Sometimes we need to be quiet and lend them our heart. So the next time you run across somebody that's going through a tough time, they just need to know that you're there. And give them your heart. And sometimes not your words. They've heard the words, and they will continue to hear the words. Sometimes people just need to know that your heart is with them. It is July the 14th. It is the 195th day of this year. It was on this day, 1980, the Republican National Convention opened in Detroit, where the nominee apparent, Ronald Reagan, took a welcoming rally. He said that supporters are determined to make America great again. 1789, in an event symbolizing the start of the French Revolution, citizens of Paris stormed the Bastille prison and released 7 prisoners inside. They only had 7 prisoners in it. In 1798, Congress passed the Sedition Act, making it a federal crime to publish false, scandalous, and malicious writing about the United States government. That's probably not it still no. I mean that's directly against the freedom of speech. But I got to check that out and see whether or not that's true or not. Because if that's the case, a lot of us going to jail. 1912, American folk singer songwriter Woody Guthrie, "This land is your land, this land is my land," was born in Okima, Oklahoma. 1921, Italian-born anarchist Nicholas Soka was convicted in Dedham, Massachusetts, of murdering a shoe company paymaster and his guard. He was executed 6 years later. In 1933, all German political parties except the Nazi Party were outlawed. Wonder why? 1966, which is a good year. I was 11 years old. Okay, I was 9. The city of Chicago awoke to the shock news that 8 student nurses had been brutally slain during the night in the South Side, and they're still doing it now, South Side dormitory. Drifter Richard Speck was convicted of the mass killing and condemned to death, but he had his sentence reduced to life in prison, where he died in 1991. 1976, on this day, Jimmy Carter won the Democratic presidential nomination at the party's convention in New York, New York. In 2003, newspaper columnist Robert Novak, publicly revealed that the CIA employment of Valerie Plame, whatever her name is, wife of Joseph Wilson, a former U.S. ambassador in Africa, who said that the administration had twisted pre-war intelligence in Iraq. In 2004, the Senate scuttled a constitutional amendment banning gay marriage. 48 senators voted to advance the measure, 12 short of the 60 needed, and 50 voted to block it. So I guess that's where we go. In 2013, thousands of demonstrators across the country protested a Florida jury's decision the day before to clear George Zimmerman in the shooting death of Trayvon Martin. In 2016, terror struck Bastille Day celebration in the French Riviera city of Nice as a large truck plowed into a festive crowd, killing 86 people in an attack claimed by Islamic State extremists. The driver was shot to death by police. They just made one mistake. They shot him too late. In 2017, a Russian-American lobbyist said that he attended the June 2016 meeting with President Donald Trump's son that was built as part of a Russian government effort to help the Republican campaign. And of course, we know that's a lie now too. 10 years ago, at her Senate confirmation hearing, Supreme Court nominee Sonia Sotomayor, close to it, pushed back vigorously against Republican charges that she would bring a biased and a liberal agenda to the nation's highest bench. Disgraced financier Bernard Madoff arrived at the Butner Federal Correctional in North Carolina to begin serving a 150-year sentence for his massive Ponzi scheme. Man, he lived good way he did it, though. 5 years ago, Citigroup agreed to pay $7 billion to settle a federal investigation into its handling of risky subprime mortgages. The Church of England voted overwhelmingly in favor of allowing women to become bishops. I'll have to think about that later on. Okay, a couple years ago, about 3 years ago, as a matter of fact, Angela Kerber beat Serena Williams in the women's final 6-3, 6-3 for her first Wimbledon title. You know, still this day, I just can't figure out tennis. I mean, I guess you got to be in great shape. You know, it's kind of like women's volleyball. I don't watch women's volleyball to watch them put the ball over the net. I watch because they all wear short pants. I mean, I don't care who wins. You know, kind of like swimming. Okay, I don't watch women swimming because they swimming fast. I watch because they hardly got no clothes on. So I said, okay, that looks good. We can handle that. I don't know. Women's sports to me is just not that exciting. You know. Okay. Even women boxing. See, when I look at women boxing, now most women in boxing are a little bit ugly, so that's not a problem. But okay, I apologize. They are visually challenged. First of all, though, what woman wants to get in the ring and get the hell beat out of her? But some of them do. Now Ronda Rousey, who I kind of like her though, she can actually fight a little bit. I don't know what she's doing now. But women's sports just never did nothing for me. And all these whining women about soccer now. Well, we want equal pay. We want, but you can't get a crowd. And the WNBA, has anybody ever watched the game of the WNBA? Is anybody? Come on. There's got to be somebody who watched the WNBA game. Okay. No, I'm sorry. With the tattoos and all that stuff. Now, I do hope that old girl who's stuck in Russia right now, I do hope she gets home and hope she's learned a valuable lesson. You know, don't be taking crap to Russia. They don't care about this. They don't care about your dope. They using you as a political pawn. Okay, I'm just saying. I mean, but I hope she's gonna. But the WNBA don't do nothing for me. Nothing. I've never watched a game. It's boring, and they can't shoot. And that ugly ball that they have look like the ABA ball back in the day. Yeah, I can't have it. I can't have it. So women's sports got a long way to go to get me to watch it. As a matter of fact, I love football, but I only watch the second half. I mean, why watch the warm-up half? The first half is the warm-up half. Okay, but it doesn't ever get good until the fourth quarter. Okay, I'm just saying. Yeah, I come in and watch the fourth quarter. You know, and so I figured this out. Maybe the NFL should just have 1 quarter of football. 1 quarter of football, and then therefore, okay, maybe 2 quarters. And that way the game would go by faster, and we wouldn't have to wait to the end of the game to see a good game. That's all I'm saying. Okay, that's all I'm saying. I just can't. I can't watch 4 quarters of it because it's boring most of the time. And will the Cleveland Browns ever be any good? That's all I want to know. I don't know. I'll do this just right quick before I can get out of here this time. Hey, who's this? And you want me to do what about that?
talk with you, see can we get this thing regreeted over here, stop going on over here. But anyway, back to your coffee thing, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you still drink Coca-Cola?
Not very often anymore, but I do swig one every once in a while.
Do you drink the sweet kind or the diet kind?
No, I gotta have a sweet kind. Yeah. But
So my point is,
yeah.
you gonna give us sugar in your sweet tea and all this stuff to drink every day.
You know, that's
You're gonna be a man. You can't be a man.
You know, that to drink tea, and there are people who drink tea without sugar in it.
I do.
How you do that? I mean, it's but it's bitter. But okay, but you the man. Okay, well, once I figure out how to drink the coffee black, then after that I can drink everything black. Well, okay. Do you carry an umbrella when it rains?
Nope.
Outstanding. Okay. You walk in. You don't even run. Okay. Well, I run. Okay, but the only reason I run trying to get between the drips, see if I'm fast enough.
No, when you're in the military, you march in the rain.
Yeah, well, that's true. I did. I gotta go. Okay, I'm not gonna hold that call against you. That was a pretty good call on that one.
Radio 1440.
Good morning, I'm Jasmine Williams with WSFA 12 News. Here's what's happening this Thursday. Prisoner deaths have many raising questions about conditions within Alabama prisons. 7 deaths were reported inside the Donaldson Correctional Facility this month alone. Jefferson County Chief Deputy Coroner says the deaths aren't connected. There are no signs of trauma or foul play. He says they include natural diseases, but there is a chance drug overdoses have played a role. COVID-19 cases are on the rise. Here in Alabama, the Department of Public Health reports that as of Tuesday, 636 hospital patients across the state have tested positive for COVID-19. It's the highest number Alabama has seen since February. This weekend is the state's back-to-school tax-free weekend. It starts at midnight Friday morning and runs through Sunday night. Buy things for the new school year.
You're right, Billy, you
clothes, diapers, school supplies, computers, and more. I'm Jasmine Williams, and these are your morning headlines.
News Radio 1440 is WLWI AM and 95.1 HD3 FM.
This is the CBS World News Roundup, sponsored by Rocket Mortgage.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. President Biden has just signed a security declaration with Israel. Speaking moments ago in Jerusalem, he says the U.S. will use, quote, all elements of its national power to stop Iran from acquiring nuclear weapons.
This is a vital security interest of both Israel and the United States, and I would add for the rest of the world as well.
Mr. Biden says the U.S. isn't ready to use force yet.
I continue to believe that diplomacy is the best way to achieve this outcome, and will continue to work with Israel to counter other threats from Iran throughout the region, including support for terrorism, the ballistic missile program that continues, and the proliferation of weapons to terrorists and proxies like Hezbollah.
Here at home, the country's biggest bank has just announced a big profit drop. JP Morgan Chase says they were down 28% in the second quarter on worse than expected investments. CEO Jamie Dimon warns geopolitical tension, high inflation, and waning consumer confidence could hurt the economy even more. The bank is setting aside another $428 million to cover potential loan losses in the future. At a meeting of global finance leaders in Bali, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen zeroed in on Russia and the war in Ukraine in a push for a global cap on Russian oil prices.
We're seeing negative spillover effects from that war in every corner of the world, particularly with respect to higher energy prices and rising food insecurity.
Russian missiles killed 17 people, including a child, in central Venezia today. More college kids are rethinking the value of higher education.
We're seeing
a new Best Colleges survey looked at 409 currently enrolled college students with student loans. 44% of them said they've considered dropping out due to the financial burdens of school. 40% of student borrowers said they have not considered dropping out, while 66% said they've had to make financial sacrifices in order to lessen their financial burden. Linda Kenyon, CBS News.
More than 40 people are unaccounted for in Southwest Virginia after surprise storms unleashed devastating flooding.
We were stranded in the house. The water kept coming up, and eventually, me and my son, my 2-year-old son, were on an air mattress in the floor, and we were floating.
Governor Youngkin has declared a state of emergency. 7-Eleven's offering a $100,000 reward for information that leads to the arrest and conviction of a suspect in a string of deadly robberies in Southern California this week. Selena Escamilla's 24-year-old son was one of 2 people killed.
Wherever he is, I want him caught. Somebody knows something.
This is CBS News.
This hour's newscast is presented by Rocket Mortgage. Need to know what it takes for a home loan to fit your budget and your family? Rocket can.
Ew, Dad, why are toenails so ugly and yellow?
Hey, it's James, and if you're like me and suffer from toenail fungus, please pay close attention. Let's face it, toe fungus is embarrassing. I was afraid to take my socks off and hid my yellowing, crumbly toes from everybody. But nail fungus isn't just a cosmetic problem. It can also be dangerous. Even a small spot can spread and get worse. But no matter what I tried, it seemed like my fungus would never go away. Then I discovered Crystal Flush, the new FDA-registered at-home treatment. This unique 2-step system flushes out fungus at its source and reverses damaged nails. Finally, me and thousands of others are free from fungus. And you can be too. Call now, and for a limited time, you can try Crystal Flush risk-free for 30 days. Call 800-764-9219. That's 800-764-9219. Eliminate your toe fungus once and for all, guaranteed. Call now, 800-764-9219, or visit crystalflush.com.
A new car battery factory will create thousands of jobs in the Midwest.
Japanese electronics giant Panasonic says it will spend $4 billion to build a new EV battery factory in Kansas. The company says it will create 4,000 new jobs in DeSoto, about 30 miles southwest of Kansas City. Kansas Governor Laura Kelly calls it a time to celebrate.
We just landed the largest economic development project in the history of our state.
Kelly and state lawmakers approved a $1 billion incentive package to help close the deal, the governor saying,
It takes money to make money.
And she says this is an investment. Jennifer Kuiper, CBS News.
Africa's fastest man will be on his way to the U.S. soon. Ferdinand Omanyala was granted a last-minute visa today to compete in the World Athletics Championships in Oregon. 26-year-old Kenyan sprinter had given up hope of coming here after he was initially denied a visa over the pandemic and COVID concerns. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
You can get away with stuff on radio in the morning. You can't get away.
MVP's bonus days are here for pros.
In the middle of the day.
Pros save
9
big
o'clock.
on MVP's.
See, 9 o'clock, everybody's paying
Because
attention.
MVP's Pro Rewards members can
But
earn
8
bonus
o'clock,
points to redeem
6 o'clock,
rewards.
they-
Earn points on every dollar spent up to $1,000. And get up
Have
to
you done
3
that?
times more points when you shop
I
select
did.
brands and products.
Me and
Find
Monty.
MVP's bonus
That
day
didn't work
savings
out.
from July 11th to the 22nd in store and online. Exclusively at Lowe's. Exclusively for pros.
Oh, but I didn't mind the kind of radio he did.
That's your computer business.
Yeah. I didn't mind that he.
They say to never mess
I didn't
with
mind that he
but Panera did
kind of radio
just
he
that
did,
and more
but he
with
thought
their
I'm supposed to do
chef's
the kind of radio he
chicken
did.
sandwiches
I don't
by using
Yeah,
pan
I don't want to call everybody that. Though maybe most of them are. But so we've all got it. I
all on a buttery brioche roll.
And you can't.
Classics.
The worst thing in this business you can do
This good.
is
Chef's chicken sandwiches from Panera. Only $1 delivery fee when you order.
comment on people's public, personal failures.
Restrictions apply. For details,
Because we all got it.
Panera.com/delivery.
We all got it. I'm no better than that. But the only thing I comment on is people's public pronunciation, the things that they believe in publicly, and that's up for grabs. Okay? You believe in abortion? I'm on it. I'm on it. No.
Yeah. I saw Chief came on. It was good.
Yeah.
I missed it. I was in between phone calls in the car, and I caught a little piece of it.
But what I'm trying to figure out, what is the 21st century police methodology? Because it seemed like to me, like I told him, it seemed like the first century is still working.
Well, it's a combination that will work, you know, between the community policing, which is kind of what I do in the rehabilitation. But you still got to, even in rehabilitating people, you got to catch them when they're alert, sober, clean, attentive. But you still got to lock them.
Yeah.
They need locking up for their own personal health.
Stay healthy. I'm Martin Hogue, and I invented Navage, the world's
I don't get it, but you know, we still get. Although I saw in the paper today, the mayor, the police said the shootings are down, unless you had to be one already been shot. But that's good. I ain't blaming him for that.
That's what Mayor Strange used to say. Crime is down unless it happened to you. Then it's up 130%.
And that just makes you feel miserable.
But it all starts. I think there's such a crack in the things we believe, what we used to believe, and now we make excuses for people doing the things against the things we say we believe.
So now when patients come in my office, I tell them I highly recommend that you use Navage on a daily basis for overall good health.
Jesus is.
And Navage is all natural and drug.
Yep. If you do.
Walgreens, CVS,
What do you
Rite
say?
Aid, Bed Bath and Beyond.
Yes.
Navage.
You gotta listen.
NAV, clean nose, healthy life.
Hey, Sean Hannity here, and now you can hear me live every afternoon. It all starts at 2, and it's all happening right here on News Radio 1440.
Oh.
Is that black coffee?
No, that starts tomorrow. That starts. I'm not wasting this good cream sugar. But after the day, I have to.
I mean, you just make that?
No.
Oh, you had.
Yeah. Okay. We are here. Now, you know what it is? You know, oh, turn that down right there. You guys know it's a Thursday. Okay. Okay, let me hit that button right there. Okay. Okay. I gotta get my stuff together. I was so shocked this morning by, you know, I was dogging my program director about having a cup that looks like a Woolsey cup, and you know, shall we say, a feminine cup. And then he turned to me and looked at me and said, "Well, I'm not putting sugar and cream in my coffee." I said, "Well, so okay." So he got me. It's rare. It's rare that anybody gets me because I'm the master of getting people. But he got me. So now starting tomorrow, I can no longer drink. Yeah. Oh, did you turn the thing up there? That one looks. Yeah, looks all right. Is that better? Okay. So I got to give up, you know, cream and sugar in the coffee. Starting tomorrow. Whew. No sweet tea. I can only have tea that's not sweet. So I got to prove my manhood. Okay. So I'm going to do it. Okay. I already don't carry an umbrella, you know, and I'm proud of you because you showed up today without an umbrella, looking like a wimp. I appreciate that. Okay. Now I got a guest in the studio. Tell the folks who you are, just in case they don't know.
Yep, John Bowman, Hope Inspired Ministries, and I am wet this morning because I didn't use umbrella or rain jacket coming in.
That's what I'm talking about. So as you notice, I don't have a. Okay, I got a little rain jacket there, but that's only because it was dark and I was hiding out.
And Kevin, I did have a cup of coffee this morning that was black.
Was black. Okay. So y'all making me feel bad this morning. So let me see who this is before we get to you. Good morning. Who's this? Good morning, Ed.
Good, Mr. Ed.
Oh, thank you, my friend. I think Paul said so beautifully a long time ago. He said to Colossians, God heals before all things. God heals before all things. And by him all things consist, Kevin. God is before all things without him, I don't think I'm shit. You know what? I think he's saying without me, he would do, no time. Well, you told me a real man thing, Kevin, if you don't mind dismissing a real man, not ashamed, and not afraid to say, Lord, I love you. A real man is not ashamed and not afraid to say, Lord, I love you. Why? I mean, you said you're going to jump here, run here, run there, and all. But please, I mean, you got something, Lord God, what? And you have to jump out of that thing and run around to the country and jump here.
Yeah, I was the man. Ed, I never said I was scared. I never said I was scared to say I love God. I said it depends on how you define love. There are very few things I'm afraid of. No. If somebody can take your job, it was not your job. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, that's been my. I mean, people have always. Yeah. Ed, that has been you. But we're not gonna get in that conversation. We're not gonna get in that conversation because it has. We know your voice, Ed. We know who you are. Okay. 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 Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Okay. I hear you. Okay, then. I don't know why Ed has a problem with me when I said that. I don't think man has the capacity to love. I really don't, because that love is manifested by the things that we do. It's not just some words that you use to say to getting. God don't give you extra points for saying you love him. Give you extra points for doing the things that is required of us to do to show that love. I mean, anybody, who when they came to Jesus, or I don't know when it was, and he said, haven't we spoke of you and all that stuff. He said, depart from me. I don't know you. So all that mouth stuff, that don't mean nothing. They just don't need
I agree. Real men love Jesus, but there's an action behind that love. I think we talked about before.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Don't sing it, bring it.
Thank you very much. Listen, you sound like a brother almost. You can
don't talk it, walk.
That's what I'm talking about. Okay. 860-14-4 is the number you want to give us a call. A Hope Inspired Ministry is a ministry located here in Montgomery, Alabama, and Birmingham.
That's correct. And Lowndes County.
And Lowndes County.
As well as the Alabama Department of Youth Services and through partnership with the Foundry Investment, 5 locations. Okay. And you guys go out and it's a place where people who feel like maybe they're about ready to give up, things not going their way, but you guys lend a hand, a helping hand. We do, and I'm speaking at church this Sunday, and I'm talking about the prodigal son. And everybody knows the prodigal son's story. He squandered all of his inheritance. He took his money from his father and squandered it, and ended up in a pig's pen. And sometimes in life, we do that and end up messing up. And it's okay because God lets us push the reset button. And that young man, the prodigal son, and actually there was 2 sons in this story. Both of them were lost and both of them were in need of Jesus. But the first one wasted his money, and he had a point where he said, I want to reset. I want to come back to the Father. Mm-hmm. I want to do what he called me to do. And we meet them exactly where they are in that pig's pen, and help them get back to where God wants them. And we teach workforce development, and we want them to be self-sufficient. God wants them to be self-sufficient, and he created us all for a reason. So we take them through a 9-week class, helping them both with their personal life to get them back on order, but giving them the soft skills they need to not only excel at a job, but to keep and maintain it as well.
Okay, and more importantly than that, you know, the Hope Inspired Ministries can always use your expertise in whatever field, counseling. Maybe you've been one of those people that been down, that got so far down you thought you'd never get up. But through the miracle of God and the miracle of Jesus and trying to do the right thing, you've gotten there. People need to hear your story. Yes. They need to know that they're not by themselves, that they're not the only one that been so far down that you could see under a snake's stomach. You know, and that's low, okay? I mean, lower than whale stuff, you know what I'm saying? That's low. But you can run. You can run, but you got to believe in something bigger than yourself. Because if we try to do it our own self, most of the time, I know I'm a witness. You know, you kind of just mess it up worse than what it is. So we need some help every once in a while.
That's right. When people do come in and share their stories, there's a lot of them out there. A lot of successful people has had their own prodigal son story in their own life. Mm-hmm. But when they share their story with our students, and they see themselves in their life and they see where this person is now, it gives them hope. It gives them hope, and allows them to start climbing the mountain. Because there is better. I've never seen any situation, any person out there that can't push the reset button and come back to where God wants them.
Okay, let me take a phone call right quick. Good morning. Who's this?
Good morning, Kevin.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning, John.
Good morning, Mr. Willie. How you doing?
I'm blessed, thank you. I want to just thank you for the work that you do in the Birmingham, Lowndes, and Montgomery community. Speaking of those that are hopeless and downtrodden, recently the city and the county is attempting to deal with the panhandling issue by encouraging citizens to give to the community foundation as opposed to giving to the panhandlers. And I know the work that you've done getting panhandlers and attempting to get them, you know, some help. Can you talk about the importance of giving to the foundation and the resources that are going to be distributed to nonprofits that are working with people that are downtrodden, those that are hopeless?
Yeah.
And nothing to your response.
Absolutely, and I'm well aware of that. And if you remember I believe it was last month or maybe the month before, I brought on a young man, Johnny, and you know, individuals that are on the street we break down barriers in their life, whether it's, you know, homelessness, addictions, mental health, transportation, housing. All of those pretty much feel a lot of the individuals that are panhandling and on the streets. But this particular guy, Johnny, was homeless, and you know, during the winter, and he woke up one morning and couldn't feel his toes. So you know, giving him a few dollars is not exactly what he needs. He needs some intervention. He needed to come off the street, but he ended up losing his toes through amputation, through freezing. So when you give to Central Alabama Community Foundation, other nonprofits, you know, including us, including all the others that do outstanding work, allows them to go out, and we go out and recruit on the streets. A lot of recruiting on N Street, at the Walmart, all the way up to the interstate. And we are competing with those individuals, but in talking them into wanting better. And we've had great success with those that want to come, but just like the prodigal son, he had to make a decision. He wanted to come home. So it's a good thing to give to Central Alabama Community Foundation so that nonprofits can go out there and truly help these individuals on the street. So good question.
Okay, got to take a break. We'll be back at the time right now. And don't forget, coming up next hour, he is scheduled to be here, the mayor, scheduled to be here. It's going to be a 15-rounder. I'm pretty sure, you know, when you get two mayors in the same office, you know, that's in the same building, a lot down, you know, and I just want to tell you guys, when two elephants get to fighting, y'all need to stay out the way. Okay, but he'll be here. You know, if you don't, you know, get scared, to come up here and talk to me. I don't think it will though. You know, there's going to be two brains in this room.
I need to stand here and pray for y'all, Kevin.
I don't know. I'll let you know if he hits me a few times. You know, we'll be back right after this.
Oh God, I come.
News Radio 1440.
The mayor's coming on. I'm the opening act for the mayor.
Yeah.
Leinster.com offers custom-made blinds,
That's his,
shades, and
second
shutters shipped
time.
directly to you at prices
Coming
less
up.
than big box
Lately, yeah.
retailers.
It
Leinster
normally
blinds
takes
are
like
easy to install and
8 to 9
guaranteed to
every
fit.
now
Don't
and then
overpay
months.
for new blinds. Shop Leinster today and
Guess
save
he-
big.
guess he's
Leinster.com.
realizing
Pretty good chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms today as early as this morning in eastern Alabama. Then throughout the day, anybody can see shower and storm activity. Will not rain all day, but the chance of getting wet at some point
Baird
after that,
Airways.
around 60%.
I call it
Generally
Pastor
in the
Airways.
80s. We end up dry in the low 70s.
That's you.
Scattered showers and storms.
No, Kevin, you got the pulpit every day.
Yeah, I know, but
Every day. What do you do?
the take on that title comes with a lot of responsibility, and you got to get rid of hypocrisy.
You know, all of everything that comes on radio, there's a story in the Bible that you can relate to each point on.
Parkway, we've got an accident reported there by the authorities. 85 northbound, just
You gotta
before
study
Road
and-
Road
What did they talk
16
about
out
last
in Waugh. We've got an accident there. 65
Go
southbound on the
to
ramp to the
Morning
Boulevard.
For the time
Accident
being.
at that location as well. So please
I love it
be
over there.
careful.
I
85
love
north
it
and
over there.
southbound.
I've never felt black in that
Summer's in
church.
full swing.
I
Festival
really
Plaza,
never.
stop by World
I
Finance,
just felt
River
like
Ballet and more. Festival Plaza, Taylor and
a
Vaughn, and
member.
JLL
Now,
Managed Development.
I just don't
Talk
like
about it's the law.
I just don't like
Traffic, this is major delay.
music, white music.
They have choir. They got choir.
Well, it's what do you guys call it? Contemporary.
Oh, it is?
And they sound, they're not quite, but they play good. But I like music that makes you want to either think about it or cry about it. I just gotta. I think music that comes from here, not here. And when black music gospel was initially written, it was really about, because that was the only thing that black folks had back in those days was a belief in God. That was it, and you had to believe. I mean, now we're in a little better position nowadays, and so we think we done made it, but you nobody really made it. You nobody really made it.
Like that time that lady
It's you never reach a point, because if you do, you quit growing.
My dad, Dr. Brian Kelly, could be
Success is not a final destination; it's just a continuous journey.
probably give
And even in the church, I've been part of some churches, and they're stagnant. And I don't, if they're stagnant, that means they're not growing.
Well, let's say
If they're not growing, they're dying.
75, 85.
Um,
Maybe we should tell them our offices are in Montgomery.
But I didn't know Mournview had a contemporary. They got like.
Well, they don't. They just got a guy with a good car. And they got, not choir.
Happy feet start
But they just,
here.
I love me some Sean. I think that guy is.
Thinking about life insurance? What if you could make one free
Now, we
phone
still got
call
an issue
and
with
learn
that
the best
Jesus
price
Christ
from up to
God.
10 price competitive
We always-
companies? Well, that's
Yeah.
exactly
What do you believe?
when you call Select.
Well,
For
we've
example,
had.
We had a
George
conversation
is
before?
And
39.
it's
He was
the
getting
Trinity.
sky-high
Well, that's
quotes
what you're saying, but the
from
Trinity is not in the Bible.
meds to control
Well,
his blood
it-
pressure.
so
But when I
It
shopped
is
around,
a
I found him
doctrine.
a 10-year, $100,000 policy
It ain't
for under
mentioned.
$22 a month.
You know, what I'm speaking Sunday, and it's called the Coming Home Safely. But I'm starting in on talking about, the gospel. It's simple. Throughout the Bible, it talks about, Jesus was sent to die for our sins, and the only way to heaven is through Him.
Or go to
And,
selectquote.com.
we try to
Since
complicate it.
1985, we shop, you save.
So if you believe that Jesus is the Son, then, I mean, that's how you get to heaven.
Thinking about life
But we
insurance?
will try to
What if you could make
overcomplicate
one
and
free
say,
phone
well,
call and learn the best price from
is
up to 10 price
physically 1,
competitive
2,
companies?
3.
Well, that's exactly what happens when you
It's
call
not
Select.
for me to understand.
For example,
or explain.
George is
Because
39.
after all, God
He was getting
is the creator.
sky-high quotes from other companies because he takes
you
meds to
look up
control
at the
his blood
stars,
pressure.
the atmosphere,
But when I shopped around, I found
galaxies,
a 10-year,
he designed all
$500,000
that.
policy for
As
under $22
we'll never
a month.
understand.
I'm selecting
I agree. I
and
mean,
believe me, if SelectQuote isn't
the one
shopping
way
for
I
life
can
insurance,
sort of
you're probably paying too much.
comprehend it is that even though you see my physical body here, there's a person inside me that talks to myself all the time. And I'm trying to figure, who the hell am I talking to? I'm talking to somebody, because I have these conversations. So who am I talking? And they're talking to me back, my conscience. So that's still part of the essence of who we are, So that's the second part of me, I guess. That's the part of you till you know when you want to say, yeah.
Well, even on earth,
Yeah.
my dad,
Yeah.
I act just like my dad. But he's no longer here. He died.
Good morning, 860-1440. Now, if you have someone that you know, and this is what these guys specialize in doing, that you've given up, you don't know what to do, and sometimes, from what I have seen through life, you can get so far down that you don't see any way up, and that's where agencies like Hope Inspired Ministries comes in, because when you can't see, sometimes it takes other eyes to see what you don't see. And somebody once said, it ain't what you look at, it's what you see. Yeah. And Hope Inspired Ministry, I believe, see things that you don't see. Because you know, it's a funny thing. While you're going through life's storm, the sun is still out. Okay, you just don't see it right now. But the sun never goes anyplace. So it's there. You just got to go through the storm. You know, cows, when there's a storm coming, head into the storm. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. You know why?
Why?
It has been alleged that they know that if the storm's coming this way, then the quietness is through the storm. You got to go through the storm.
Wow.
So why? So you keep running from the storm's still behind you.
Kev, you just preached a sermon.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Reverend Elvis. Anyway, 860. But I learned that they go into the storm.
Yeah.
And it makes sense when you think about it. It makes sense because if you're just going with the storm, you're going to be in the storm a long time.
And all through the Bible, there's, the promised land's on the other side of the wilderness or the other side of the storm.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a good message.
You know, I had a friend who died recently. I didn't know he died. I went to his house a couple of weeks ago and I saw that everything in the house was gone. He told me he was dying, and I tried to encourage him to, you don't have to accept it, but I mean, if it's coming, it's coming. And he didn't believe in God. And I said, okay, here's where we do this. Let's say there ain't no God. Let's just say there ain't no God, and you leave here and you just worm food and it's over. No, I said, no big deal. No big deal. Okay, that's where it goes. Let's just say there is God. Are you willing to take a chance on your eternal life? And I couldn't get him to believe, and I don't guess it's up to me to get anybody to believe. They got to do that on their own. But what would your, and I got another friend. I got a couple of friends who don't believe in God. They believe there's something, but they don't know what the hell it is. So they say, well, we don't know what it is. How would you convince people that there's a God?
Well, the story of the prodigal son, as we've already been talking about it, I mean, the father was always there, and if you go back to the beginning of the story, it shows there's a story of love in there as well, because if the prodigal son wanted his inheritance, he only got it when his father died. So he wished his father death, and in order to get his inheritance, and he squandered it all away, and was standing there, and the whole time the father was waiting on him, because he loved him that much to let him make his own decision. And just like this young man, I mean, the father's always there. And just to pray with him. I know we just talked about the Trinity, God and the Holy Spirit, and much discussion on what it is, but there's power in stopping and praying with this young man obviously he's in a prodigal son pig pen type situation as he faces death. But to stop and to pray with him and invite God into that situation. And there's power in the Holy Spirit. And God says where two or more are gathered, there he is as well. But to invite him in there, to convict this young man and show him the love of the Father. And just you stopping and going to visit with him to talk to him about God shows him the love of Christ. And Ed's probably smiling now, saying, "That's Pastor Elkin going out and sharing the love of Jesus."
I didn't pray with him because I felt I was unqualified.
But you're not
to do that. I mean,
you are qualified. You're a child of God. Kevin.
Sometimes I know he wonders, but
you are a prodigal son, but I am too.
Yeah, well, I guess we all get to that prodigalness in whatsoever. So how long has Hope Inspired Ministry been doing their thing?
10 years. We're celebrating our 10-year anniversary this year.
Mm-hmm.
This year.
Give me the process. I'm listening to this show. I'm on my last, I think it's my last step here. Give me the process. Walk me through it.
Well, we try to make it as easy as possible. If you can go online and there's a student sign up. And I had a young man call me the other day, and he didn't have internet, and I said, I tell you what, I'm going to sign you up right now. And I was on the phone with him and by a computer, and I just clicked and signed him up for the next class. The next class starts August the 15th. So feel free to sign someone that you talk to up, and about 35 to 40% of our students come from word of mouth. So that means individuals out there know someone. I talked to a guy yesterday. His uncle had been in prison and been unemployed, and and he said, this is exactly what my uncle needs. So this young man, who was I think 19 years old, went back and talked to his uncle about signing up for the program. They can call the 649-4330, 334-649-4330, and talk to anybody on the answers phone.
Give it a little slower.
334-649-4330.
Okay.
Or they can stop by our office on Coliseum Boulevard, 145 Coliseum Boulevard, and we can sign them up for the class. But it'll start August the 15th.
Let me ask you, do you guys work in partnership with our prison systems, with our jail systems? Because when you get out of that, and it's a shame the way we do, people have been in prison 10 years or so for whatever reason. And again, I tell people the only reason why I'm not in jail because when I was stupid, I didn't get caught. So, but once you get out, all it is a merry-go-round headed back. Because if you don't have any place to go, you got no family left. They don't have anything. They didn't have anything when you went in. They don't have anything when you come out. But people, and then they tag you with a record. So how do you survive that? I mean,
it's a very good point, Kevin. And I think we talked about it before the air when I was at the police department. In order to lower crime, sometimes you got to lower recidivism rate because you have the same individuals coming back to jail over and over again. And the Montgomery Police Department, they bring us individuals. We've had them drop guys off to us so that we can help them. We work with the courts system, so the municipal judges, circuit judges will send people to us. But last Friday, I went to Elmore County Correctional Facility. Warden Callaway has a reentry program up there, and spoke to the guys that was in there. I gave them a dose of hope, and then told them about Hope Inspired Ministries and how they could come in, and that we would help them eliminate any barrier that's in their life and place them back in society and help them be successful. So we are in the prison.
Okay. Being a former member of the Montgomery Police Department and a member of law enforcement, give me your thoughts on putting people in cages and for years. Does that really help anybody? I mean, I can understand if you're a murderer, or something like that, but putting people in prison for years for drugs, does that really, why don't we figure out what the problem is? I mean, does that really help society? Because right now they're getting killed in prison just for every place over the state. You get the death penalty now when you didn't go in there for the death penalty. So does it really help us as a society to put people in cages and hot-ass prisons? Does that take a good guy, potentially good guy, and make them better?
There are, if someone does something, there obviously is a law against it, that they have to be incarcerated. But I like to approach the individuals while in prison because they're captive, they're sober. I think that if you're doing some productive,
they may be sober.
Well, you can get some of that, but for the most part, you don't have the accessibility to those addictions that you have on the outside. But if and while they're incarcerated, that's some of the stuff that we started doing in Montgomery within the city jail. Was while you have them, you talk to them and find out what are the barriers. Is there an addiction issue? And offer them the things that they need to do. I talked to a guy, they texted me yesterday that he was incarcerated back when I was at the police department and had an addiction issue. And we drove him about 2 hours to an addiction treatment facility. So that's outside the realm of traditional policing, but he got the help that he needed, and he's not committing crimes anymore. So, you know, there's a lot of productive programs that are occurring inside the prison, inside the jails, inside law enforcement.
But I guess I wonder, do you think the way we apply corrections, which is, I don't know if that's a correction or not, but the way we putting a man in a cage, you know, if we put a dog in a cage in Alabama, the people from the HPC, whatever the hell they call those animal control people, they want to put you in jail. But we do the same thing to human beings. I guess, and obviously it doesn't really work.
Yeah, and it's like this. If I have a mental health issue, which you know, about 35% of our students have mental health issues, and I've seen it during my time in law enforcement. If you put this mental health individual inside of prison, that doesn't help them. You know, what they need is medical attention. What they need is medication. So they're going to come out and still have the same.
And then they'll be right back in prison.
Right. And if you have we talked about, you know, some of the transient population, if they're homeless going into prison and they come out, they're still homeless.
They're home. Yeah.
If you put them in with an addiction issue and they come out, they still have an addiction issue. So, you know, we're kind of the low hanging fruit for law enforcement, and that's why they'll drop them off to us, because we can help them if they choose it. But they're more apt to choose help while they're incarcerated.
Have you guys ever thought about, because have you guys ever thought about coming up with and I know it takes money, so trust me, but with a residential program where people could work, earn their stay, work on the campus, learn and have a place to stay? Because if you don't have a place to stay, it's a difficult process, no matter how bad you want to.
It is, and we require all of our students to have housing, but we have partners that offer that. You know, one of our biggest partners for the residential piece is Salvation Army. You know, Captain Roberts has a HIM dorm that he calls it, that for our HIM students, for Hope Inspired Ministries HIM students, and he allows them to stay in there because he knows that, you know, they're going through a process. So it's a huge benefit for us to have that piece. And then he allows them to gradually come off of that, and as they re-enter society. There's several halfway houses that we partner with throughout Montgomery that I've talked about before. You got the Renaissance House that they're coming out of prison. You got the Shed with Ed Weiss.
Never heard of him.
Addiction recovery house, and you got Absolutions on Pear Hill Road. Oxford House. There's several houses that we do partner with. The Friendship Mission is another homeless shelter that we've had some students to stay in. And then you know, I spoke to Leigh yesterday, domestic violence. A lot of our students come, you know, from the domestic violence arena, and we partner with Sunshine Center on that.
So I'm going to assume then, if you really want help, but what if I'm one of those people who don't know I really want help?
Well, Kevin, I've talked about it before a lot of times, because this earth has packed so many lies on them and told them that they're not valuable. It's a lot in talking them into, you know, just like you try to talk to your friend, talking them in to say, hey, God created you for so much more. Everybody is a child of God and are created with value. But unfortunately, sometimes life has packed on so many lies that they don't believe it. They believe that this is it. So there's a period of encouragement for them. But as you start to speak life into them, you'll see them start to pick their shoulders up and start to believe in themselves and start to have a little hope.
Okay. Now, I'm not Hope Inspired Ministries, and I can help you with a lot of these problems, but I can help you with one problem, and that's if you need an automobile. Okay. If you need an automobile, JL Lane Truck and Auto, JLLaneTruckandAuto.com. You can go look at some of that online inventory. You can always give them a call, 272-4313, and ask for Steve, and he'll help you out. Now, JL Lane Truck and Auto, they got online inventory, which you go to JLLaneTruckandAuto.com, and you can look at all the inventory that they have. Great cars. They've been cleaned. They've been cleared of all known issues and passed a rigorous, I like that word rigorous, that means tough, inspection process. So if you're ready to ride and you need a good car and you need something that you don't have to worry about bringing back the minute you take it off the lot, then 208 Gun Road, or call them 272-4313. Now, if they don't have it, ask for Steve, and I think they can probably get it. Again, that name is JL Lane Truck and Auto, JLLaneTruckandAuto.com. com. Okay, 272-4313. But go to the website if you're working for the state, if you're employed by the state, and you can go there right now, so you ain't doing it anyway, and look at the cars in the inventory that they have. Great cars, Lexuses, Lincolns, nice cars, trucks, four-wheelers. Okay, now, I was looking for that Range Rover thing, right? I don't see one of those over right now, but evidently those are some special cars. Well, give me a number, 272-4313, 272-4313, and ask for Steve. That is JLLaneTruckandAuto.com. Go check out that inventory right now. Anyway, we'll be right back. Our guest is one of John Bowman from Hope Inspired Ministry, HIM for short. We'll be back.
You're too young to understand my tears, she said, but just keep on living. And friends, today, I can understand her tears. I'm not ashamed to tell the world. Sometimes I have to cry. And some days when
That's me.
That is. I remember. I might have told you this before. We had that's back in 94, 95. This officer that was killed, Willie Pryor.
Yeah, I remember.
He was a motorman, but I went to his funeral, and it was their black church, and they played that song, "Soon and Very Soon."
Pretty good chance
Yeah.
of scattered showers, thunderstorms today.
And man, I told my wife, but she went with me.
Throughout the day, anybody can see
One day I wanted that
showers,
song played
storms,
my funeral,
rain all day.
and it was just
It
had
can get wet at some point,
this
not bad around
black ladies up there just
Yeah.
swaying and
Speeding in the
singing.
dry in the low 70s tonight. Scattered showers.
There you go.
Lower rain chances this weekend around 30%, but highs again in the 90s. That's your first alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Tyler Seabury for News Radio 14.
Montgomery Skywatch Traffic, brought to you by Baker Motors. It's better.
But yeah, the prisons, you don't almost like hold their hand coming out, and if they
got
ever,
nowhere to go.
if they go back to wherever they came
Wherever they
from,
came from, that's just.
and we applied for a grant. I thought I was going to get it in Lowndes County with Sheriff West. He wants to let us come into jail and teach a class, our class. But it got cut from the funding. But I got excited about it because they're captive. They're sober and captive while in incarceration. But it got cut. But we're still potential to get going into the high schools down there and teaching the high schools. Same concept. Catch them before they fall off the rocker and fall into the hands of the street. Dr. Marsh lets me come over to his to leave.
Here in the South, the summer heat can be
He's called for a couple
Work
students.
on your property never ends. You need equipment that's fast, efficient, and versatile. That's exactly what you get with John Deere equipment from SunSouth. Like the easy-to-use John Deere
You got your
3025
questions ready for
tractor
me?
with loader starting at only $295
It's all
a
in
month. So you'll beat the heat, plus you'll save time and money.
See, that's a
Quality
gift
John
that you
Deere
have,
equipment.
a
Come see
spiritual
us at
gift. I
SunSouth.
mean, you can communicate on the fly. You don't have to prepare.
Well,
If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready.
Well,
You're
that's
always
true.
ready.
But after you live 65 years, you pretty much, you pretty much done heard it all and seen most of it. And you pretty much know the issues because you live them every day. I ain't gifted. I've been blessed to live a little longer and remember the BS that I hear. Okay.
Now, how many hours a day you work with computers?
I only do it for people who call me who know me. Other than that, I don't mess with it.
Paid for by
'Cause
Christian
I ain't giving up
Heritage.
that knowledge.
If you haven't switched to
Somebody wants me to
MetaShare
do
yet,
it,
two
wants
big
me to
reasons
do
to
it.
at least consider it and why it makes so much sense right now. Number one's inflation, which is just affecting everything. It makes sense to say, okay, where can I actually save?
There's a company
Well,
down
you can save a lot
you know
in
where,
one
you know
fell
where,
swoop if you switch to
you know where,
MetaShare. The typical family saves
Healthwise Foods are
$500 a
on
month.
Line Highway.
Secondly,
It's
your
called
conscience.
Village East
MetaShare
Shopping Center,
members
right
aren't
on top of the
forced to pay
hill.
for things they don't
As
support
soon
or
as you
believe
pass
in.
County
That's a
Downs
big
on the
deal
left,
for
they
a
go on the
lot
left
of
up
people
on top of the
right
hill.
They want their money
I
back.
work with them sometimes.
And one
If
more
they,
reason,
I
people
love
do
going to
trust
people's houses
MetaShare.
during service
It's been
calls.
the gold
I feel like
standard
you're
for healthcare sharing for more than 25 years. It works.
I like meeting
Members
weird people.
Love it too. It has
I
double
I
the
bet
customer
you do.
satisfaction
You do.
rating than health
You meet
insurance.
some
So
weirdos.
now
I
is a
mean,
great
I went
time
to one lady
consider
house that
making
had
the switch.
27
They're
cats
very
in it.
easy to talk to. MetaShare has great
And I said, I had never
customer
seen them.
service.
Then one lady had a garage that had dog poop in it. They've been there for like 10 years. And pounds of it.
51 Bible.
And I needed to make some money that day when I first got there. So I shoveled it all in the back of my truck. I I got rid of it. I think I made $20 for that job. I shoveled for hours trying. I said, see, because I made the mistake of saying I'll do it for this price without seeing it. And once you
cleaned it up.
Yeah. I mean, that's when I first
computer
got
work,
here.
is it?
Huh?
That's not computer work.
No, when I first got here, I wasn't doing computer work. I was doing whatever kind of work I could get.
You know, some of the worst scenes I ever went to was some of the cat ladies.
So does Mark Patrick?
Mm.
Because they just had so many cats in there, they'd end up dying.
Nothing has changed my life
And
more.
it just,
Well, except maybe my husband. He's so proud of me. Makes me cry.
That is
Mm.
awesome.
Oh,
What are you
well.
waiting for? Join Mark Patrick's seminar.
We all got issues. Some issues we can see here quick. Some issues we can see better than others.
well, you know, the other son and the prodigal, you know, nobody, you don't hear much about him, but he was as bad as all. He wanted the money too. When the other son come back, he got ticked off
Yeah.
because he's like, well, wait a minute, man, it's all mine.
Of course, you kind of understood that since my man took the money already. Now you're gonna let him back in.
Well, he already had his inheritance too.
Oh,
You know, so technically, he would have gotten his father's.
For example,
So he would have got his third
George's
and the
39.
father's third.
He was getting
And the other son already took
quotes from
his
other
third.
doctors because he takes
But
meds to control his blood
he
pressure.
got
But when
he got
I
greedy
shopped
too.
around, I found him
Oh,
a
so he was
10-year,
being selfish.
$500,000
He was wanting
policy for under
wanting
$22 a
more for
month.
himself or
I'm
jealous of
SelectQuote
his
agent
other brother
Dan
coming
Savino,
back.
and believe me,
Mm.
if SelectQuote isn't shopping for your life
really
insurance,
tell
you're
how the
probably
story
paying
ends.
too much.
Got left for us
For
to
your free
decide.
quote, call 800-890-6688.
Well, gotta give no more sugar and cream in my coffee after today.
800-890.
I started having some stomach problems. And I saw
Or
that
go to
if you
SelectQuote.com.
put cream in
Since
your coffee, it kind of,
1985, we
I
shop.
don't know what it
You
does to
save.
the coffee, but it's a little easier on your
Full
stomach.
details on the example policy at
I had to have colonoscopy Monday. That was the first one.
Really?
Yeah.
I had a barium enema. I don't know what the hell a colonoscopy is, but if it's like that, yeah, I you know what it's like to have a bunch of guys looking at your butt. Okay, I was hoping they wasn't, you know. Our numbers here are 860-1440. If you want to give us a call, I guess it's John Bowman from Hope Inspired Ministry. I would suggest that if you have some extra time, and I'm talking to myself too, go by and see if you can give these guys a hand. They can always use money. They need lunch brought to them. You know, so if you want to buy lunch for the team, they need lunch every day.
They do, and it's they need lunch, and Kevin has brought lunch and spoke to the class. You know, we have tons of volunteer opportunities. We're heavily volunteer driven, but we feed the students every day through our volunteers. Every day someone brings a lunch in, and we're constantly looking for those. There's no greater blessing than to feed them, because oftentimes it's the only hot meal these students get. But better than that, it brings them back the next day.
Right.
So it keeps them coming back over and over again. And we also need mentors, especially out at Alabama Department of Youth Services. We have a campus out there. We need male mentors out there. We've got a class starting, I believe, in 2 weeks out there.
And so what do? You go out there on certain days and talk to them, or how does that?
It's once a week, and I know you had played a segment earlier about listening. Oftentimes it's listening and then you know, offering advice to them, and it's really just being kind of that father figure.
So when you going back out there?
To the Department of Youth Services?
Yeah. Do we have to go out there with you? We got to go out there with you, I presume.
Well, we've got 2 instructors out there.
Okay.
So when you go out there to mentor, they do have to go through a background check.
Yeah. It's kind of like going to the airport, you know, taking your shoes off and everything to make sure you don't have no bombs or anything like that. I feel insulted sometimes when they do that, but I guess, you know.
It's not that bad, but then once you're cleared,
Right.
you know, you just go to the gate and they'll take you back there. It's a painless process, but very fruitful to these young men.
All right, I'm going to put myself through that. Okay? I don't like that. I mean, I figure I'd serve this nation. Why in the world am I getting treated like a crook? You know, of course, secretly, I mean, been a crook, but not in a long time. Yeah, let's go to the phone one more time. Good morning on there.
Good morning.
You know why you haven't heard that story about the cattle?
Why?
Well, it's absolutely nonsense. If a cow, since it's raining, is more likely just to lay down and maintain a dry spot. If you're going to teach the guys anything, tell them not to believe phony reverends. If they question something, look it up, do the research. Everything that comes out of somebody's mouth ain't true.
Well, I agree with that, but that's the story I was told about the cattle. So, you know, and it made sense to me.
Research it. What did you research instead of just
Well, so I'm really not that. I'm really. It's the lesson that it teaches. It's kind of like it's a parable. It's a parable, I guess. But listen, you all listen. You know what? Listen. I need to come out and hug you because you always got an attitude. So do you need me to hug you or something?
But you were talking about the cup while ago. I think you about a seat cup, aren't you?
Well, I don't see any cups. Oh well. Anyway,
I like the parable. I don't know whether
I don't know, but it makes sense.
It does. And there are similar stories in the Bible. I love parables because that's what Jesus taught in. I believe in the keep it simple method, and that's what I'm using the prodigal son for Sunday, is to talk about how simple it is to come to Jesus. And he always said that referred to as the children because the children didn't make things complicated.
Yeah. Although this guy right here, I don't know when the last time he's been to church, but obviously it hasn't been. It's been a minute. He never has anything good to say to anybody, and I'm feeling sorry for the guy. I just may need to go give him a hug or something, or buy him a barbecue wing or something. I don't know. He's got issues.
But we all need encouraging, Kevin, from me to you, to him, to everyone.
Yeah, he probably needs a couple other things, but I can't say that on the air. Good morning on air. See, there he is again. See, that's Mr. Ed. Now he swears up and down that's not him. Okay, but we know that's it though. We Ed, that's it. See, when I ban you one day, see, you're gonna feel. See, the only time I banned you already because I thought the Lord might get out on me. Good morning. Who's this? Yes.
Good morning. Good morning.
I want this to go out to everyone. You are not alone. Jesus is with you. And you're very, very, very much loved. God loves you. Remember that no matter what nobody else says. Okay?
Amen.
All right. Okay then. Good. Now you are I assume you're an ordained minister?
Well, career police officer, I guess is what you'd call me. I did get ordained, because me and my wife were teaching the youth, and had one of our youth that, turned into a young adult, wanted to get married and asked me to do it. And I got, at that time, you had to be ordained.
Well, the reason I asked that, because would it be appropriate to call you Pastor Boone?
Well, I call you Pastor of the Airways.
Yeah, but we know mine's full of it. So I mean, but I just wonder if you, because
I go by John.
John, okay. Well, John's a good name to have. That's one of the disciples.
Yes.
Okay. How many disciples were there? 12, right?
12.
13? And the only one that didn't make the cut was Judas?
Well, they were all sinners.
Yeah, well, that's true.
They were all sinners.
But that 30,
and I am too. So.
Yeah, but that 30 things of silver kind of sticks out in people's mind, I don't know. I guess we all have betrayed somebody.
One of the things that I do tell when I go to speak to those who are incarcerated, because you have them for murder to minor possession of drugs. The foot of the cross is level. That means we all need the same thing. Jesus died for the murderer, the rapist, the drug addictions, whatever the sin is. Jesus died for us.
As a policeman, do you think people ought to go to jail for drugs?
Well, my bottom line with drugs is it's an addiction that, there's a saying right now that says don't trust your dope because it's being laced with fentanyl. And, my concern is for the individual. And sometimes they need to be incarcerated in order to save their life. So there's underlying issues with someone who gets caught and with some drugs.
I mean, they need help. But
my thing is, if you release them, you're not helping them. You're hurting them.
But right in today's environment, though, you put them in prison, they may end up dead.
Well, if my vote would be to incarcerate them and get them the help that they need, because out here on the street, people are dying by taking an ordinary drug. We used to teach in school that you've got. I got some prescription med recently because of colonoscopy, and I encourage everybody to get their colonoscopy at 45. But that was performed by a pharmacist gave me that medication. You've got street chemists out here that are mixing and lacing stuff,
and it's fentanyl. there's something that's going on in America right now. People are putting dollar bills on the ground. You pick the dollar bill up, and it is laced with fentanyl,
Yes.
and it will kill you.
And it used to be that, you just saw fentanyl and heroin, but they're putting fentanyl in everything. And that's the slogan, amongst the addiction communities: don't trust your dope, because it can kill you. I've got Narcan sitting on my desk in our office for that very reason.
Well, it's a good reason to give up dope. I mean, but this dollar thing, a lady picked up one, I forgot what's in Wisconsin, whatever. She picked up one, she almost died because a couple seconds later, she was laying in the hospital, but she's in the hospital bed almost dead because she picked this thing up, didn't know, and it had fentanyl all in it. And whether they did it on purpose or the people just dropped it, but I'm not picking up no money. Now, if it's $100 bill, you might want to get something to pick it up, wash it first, and then before you touch it.
But those in addiction are they need some help.
Yeah. That's true. Well, give us a prayer. Pastor Bowman.
Yeah, I'll say a prayer,
Yeah, go
especially
right
for
ahead.
you and the mayor, the two mayors.
Yeah, we need it.
Dear gracious and heavenly Father, we thank you so much for everything you're doing through the airways at here and also at Hope Inspires Ministry, and how you mirror the two together. We know you're the answer for everything. You love us greatly, and we're all that prodigal son. It's whether or not we choose to come home and to come home safely to you. We do pray for the two mayors as they talk, and we just pray for the guidance of the mayor and all of his leaders for the city, that we prosper and fulfill the purpose that you created us for. We love you and we thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.
I got some cabinet positions that need to be filled. I think I'm gonna put your name in. You can be our counsel on Mayor Elkins' cabinet. Okay.
Yes, I'd be an honor.
Yeah. Okay, we'll do that then. Anyway, my time's up this hour. Now the mayor's supposed to be here. Now let's it started raining, so I don't really know. The mayor may not want to get wet or anything like that. I'm not sure, but if he's here in a few minutes, we'll know he came and he danced through those raindrops. All right. Anyway, we'll be back. Uno momento. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis, ocho, nueve, diez. Okay, nueve momento.
There's a sermon in that song. All of the hurts and pains, soon and very soon. We invited all that pain through Adam and Eve and the sin.
He couldn't keep it in. Adam couldn't keep it in his face. Oh no! Wait. Yeah. Is that a true story, or do you think it's
Jefferson County Chief Deputy Coroner says the deaths aren't connected. There are no signs of trauma or foul play. He says they include natural diseases, but there is a chance drug overdoses have played a role too. COVID-19 cases are on the rise. Here in Alabama, the Department of Public Health reports that as of Tuesday, 636 hospital patients across the state have tested positive for COVID-19. It's the highest number Alabama has seen since February. This weekend is the state's back-to-school tax-free weekend. It starts at midnight Friday morning. It runs through Sunday at midnight. It means you can buy things for the new school year without paying the state sales tax. It includes most clothes, diapers, school supplies, computers, and more. I'm Jasmine Williams, and these are your morning headlines.
News Radio 1440 is WLWI AM and 95.1 HD3 FM. This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Liberty Mutual Insurance.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Two big banks are reporting large second quarter profit drops this morning amid historic inflation and fears a recession is in the offing. JP Morgan's Jamie Dimon warns geopolitical tensions and waning consumer confidence aren't helping. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger.
The company was expected to report a decline in second quarter profit. That's because a year ago, their profits were so strong. The 28% decline was somewhat worse than expected.
Morgan Stanley is reporting a 29-cent drop. The number of people who signed up for jobless benefits last week hit its highest level in nearly 8 months. Still, the total number collecting fell. In Israel,
I always bring up human rights.
President Biden getting applause after he and Prime Minister Yair Lapid signed a security declaration in Jerusalem aimed at preventing Iran from developing a nuclear weapon. The president heads to Saudi Arabia next, where he'll meet with Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, widely believed to have ordered the murder of Washington Post columnist Jamal Khashoggi. Here's what he had to say about that.
I always bring up human rights. But my position on Khashoggi has been so clear. If anyone doesn't understand it in Saudi Arabia or anywhere else, then they haven't been around for a while.
The family of a Palestinian-American journalist shot to death covering violence in the West Bank is not happy. They've been denied a meeting with President Biden while he's in Israel. Al Jazeera correspondent Shireen Abu Akleh's niece Lena tells CBS Mornings.
We wanted to hear from our demands, our concerns, and our calls for accountability and justice.
2 months after Shireen's death, an investigation blames Israeli forces. Israeli officials say there's no definitive conclusion. Dozens of people are unaccounted for in Southwest Virginia, where severe storms have washed away homes, roads, and bridges. Correspondent Christina Ruffini is in Buchanan County.
Floodwaters have receded in much of this area, but what they left behind is devastation. About 44 people are still unaccounted for. The sheriff's office has set up a hotline that family members can call if they're still looking for missing loved ones.
No confirmed deaths there. The number missing is expected to go down once cell service improves. Can't check your Twitter feed this morning? The Down Detector website shows widespread outages in the U.S. and parts of Europe. Reports started coming in about an hour ago. And Kevin Spacey appeared in court in London today. The actor pleaded not guilty to harassing 3 men while he ran the Old Vic Theater in the early 2000s. Dow futures down more than 480. This is CBS News.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance, so you only pay for what you need. Visit libertymutual.com to learn more.
Was your business hurt in the years of the pandemic? Have you had a decline in revenue since 2019? Was your business partly or fully shut down by the government? If you answered yes to any of these questions and have 5 employees or more, you may be eligible to receive up to $26,000 per employee. How? By taking advantage of the Employee Retention Tax Credit, a fully funded tax credit created to help businesses during these difficult times. The experts at Benchmark Human Capital are ready to help you get the money you are owed. The pre-qualification is absolutely free. Even if you got PPP money, this is more money that may be owed to you. Repayment is not necessary. The money is all yours. The IRS writes you a check. That's right, a check. Get your free pre-qualification now if you have 5 employees or more. Call 800-535-ERTC. Take advantage of this tax credit while funds remain available. Call Benchmark Human Capital today at 800-535-ERTC and claim what is rightfully yours. That's 800-535-ERTC, 800-535-3782.
A former CIA engineer has been convicted in the biggest ever theft of agency secrets.
Joshua Schulte claimed that he had been made the scapegoat for the treasure trove of documents published by WikiLeaks in 2017. Prosecutors say his motivation was that the CIA had disrespected him by ignoring complaints about the work environment there. Schulte was charged with leaking information about some of the agency's top secret cyber tools. One prosecutor encouraged jurors to consider evidence that he tried to cover up his crime. Schulte is still awaiting trial on child pornography charges. Peter King, CBS News.
He provided a space for everyone who was anyone to dance, party, and do drugs in the late 70s and 80s. Studio 54 owner Mark Fleischman's died by assisted suicide in Switzerland. The 82-year-old told the New York Post last month it was likely from all the drinking and drugs he did back in the day. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Well, I attended because my father stopped smoking with hypnosis. Hypnosis eliminated my desire for soda and fast food, made me want to exercise, and I lost 60 pounds in 6 months. My energy level exploded. I went to another session to deal with some other problems, and I lost another 10 pounds. In fact, I brought my husband. He lost weight. More important, cholesterol and blood pressure improved. My friend went, and she lost 20 pounds in the first 2 months. So does Mark Patrick hypnosis work? Oh yeah, it works. Nothing has changed my life more. Well, except maybe my husband. He's so proud of me. Makes me cry.
That is awesome. What are you waiting for? Join Mark Patrick seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking, guaranteed for only $49.99. That's right. Weight loss seminar Wednesday, July 27th at the Hilton Garden Inn East in Montgomery. Time is 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Registration begins at 5 p.m. Stop smoking seminar starts at 8 p.m. Registration starts at 7 p.m.
He's the voice of the conservative millennial.
Ben Shapiro.
The Ben Shapiro Show, tonight at 8 p.m. on News Radio 1440. Depend on it.
We are family.
Montgomery Skywatch traffic brought to you by Brubaker Motors. It's better at Brubaker on News Radio 1440.
Sponsored by Blindster. Do you need new blinds or shades? Blindster.com offers custom-made blinds, shades, and shutters shipped directly to you at prices less than big box retailers. Blindster blinds are easy to install and guaranteed to fit. Don't overpay for new blinds. Shop Blindster today and save big. Blindster.com.
Good morning, Montgomery. Things are looking better. They say 85 northbound is open. The accident at Chantilly Parkway cleared, but the backup is still there, so use caution. Hopefully that will thin out soon. 85 southbound, they're still working that accident there at Chantilly Parkway, so be careful. There's also a wreck on Taylor Road in front of AUM and Chantilly Parkway northbound just before 85 in front of Home Depot. And two new accidents, 8600 block of Bond Road with injury and the 800 block of East Boulevard. Invisible Fence has the Boundary Plus system, giving your pets security, but giving them more room to enjoy life. Call Vicky at Invisible Fence, 265-2585. Buckle up, it's the law. For Montgomery Skywatch Traffic, this is Major Delay.
Attention River Region listeners, take advantage of 4 new tires with no money down at Chico's Auto Pros, Montgomery's #1 rated tire store. Chico's Auto Pros.
Turn up your radio. Here's the Sean Hannity Morning Minute. Interesting what the Bank of America, their analysts had to say about the Federal Reserve. You know, they're poised to bring about a severe recession by raising interest rates in order to finally quell soaring inflation. With that will come record high unemployment. Trust me on this. It's simple economics 101. I've been bragging about it. But now we have not seen this since 1981. Gas prices, doubled. Airfares now in the last year up 35%. Cereal up, 16 to 20%. Meat and poultry through the roof. All the staples that we all need and buy and purchase every day now costing more than ever. And what's Joe going to do about it? Check out the Sean Hannity radio show later today, right here. The best part of summer is time to tackle home projects like installing, new shades from Blinds.com. You stay cool and you'll save up to 40% off site-wide when you go to Blinds.com. Now, if you're like me and you need options, that's one of the reasons I love Blinds.com. And Blinds.com has a premium selection of shades, shutters, drapes, and so much more. Shop at Blinds.com right now. You'll save up to 40% off site-wide now through July the 19th. All sheer shades, 40% off. Limits and restrictions may apply.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/
Struggling with weight and frustrated with dieting each and every year. Mark Patrick Seminars can join the over 500,000 people who have attended Mark Patrick Seminars with weight loss results. Mark Patrick Seminars will be in Montgomery on Wednesday, July 27th. After the seminar,
Since August, I can honestly say I have not had one potato chip.
It was life-changing for me.
And I don't think that deserves one. Bridget, how much have you lost now? I lost a total of 83 pounds.
Holy cow.
It's easy, it's fun, very relaxing.
Between the moon and Mr. Mayor, get all the person out of the way. You got about 10 minutes.
I actually get them out of the way, so we don't want to. What you got on?
Hey man, you ever seen a brother who got some rain boots that match his tie? Man, I shot myself sometimes.
Real men don't wear boots.
Huh? I'm not real men don't wear loafers.
Morning, man.
Hey, you doing all right?
Like the
You got me on that one. All right. Thank you.
That ain't a clip-on.
No, that's not. We don't do clip-ons now.
That's a Morehouse, man.
That's right. We don't do
I understand. It was a joke, Kevin. It was a joke.
I went to Morehouse too. Rode by.
Went by. We got a lot of sidewalk alumni like
yeah.
We take that.
We got a famous one in Montgomery.
As long as they donate, they can be in sidewalks.
Yeah, that's right.
I never heard of Morehouse in '92.
Come on, man.
I never heard of it. I mean, listen, when you
South Bend,
but when you got Notre Dame, what else matters? I mean, it's a standard. I mean, what else? I didn't know nothing about HB. I never heard nothing about it.
There wasn't a whole lot of brothers in Notre Dame now. Even back in the 60s and 70s now.
Yeah,
it wasn't like Michigan State now. Michigan State had some brothers.
That's because they was all playing football.
Well, I was like, man, look at them, man. I'm just saying.
Man, they all playing football and basketball.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. Okay. Put on those headphones there.
Oh, okay. Okay. There we go. They pop a little bit.
Okay. The time is here that you've been waiting for. It's scheduled for 15 rounds, but
it won't go one. It's gonna be like a Mike Tyson fight. No, listen, get there early and be prepared to leave early.
Yeah. Well, don't get too assured of yourself, there, Mr. Mayor. Anyway, we got the mayor of the city of Montgomery, Mr. Stephen Lewis Reed. How's your family?
Hey man, everybody's doing pretty good. I won't complain.
Okay. Didn't one of them have a birthday recently or something?
Yeah, my son had a birthday, so he's learning more responsibility. The older you get, the fewer gifts and the more things you're expected to do.
Yeah, no birthday. You know, if you were in a room with 100 kids in it, we could pick out yours.
Why you say that?
we could pick out your kids because your kids look just like you.
Oh well, look, I'll take that.
Yeah, we can pick out your children.
I'll take that.
Okay.
As long as they don't act like me, I keep telling them he's not the mayor.
That's right.
So I had to tell him that.
Yeah. Montgomery's only got 2 mayors.
Well, what 2?
But I've been here. I've been here longer than you, so I'm just saying. Yeah. Listen, let's get busy. The other day, you know, me and this panhandling thing, you guys finally at least decided to try to do something. I think we ought to put them in a car and take them to Prattville. Okay.
That's what people say Prattville's doing.
Okay, yeah, they are. Let me ask you, one of the things came up with
not just Prattville, what I hear.
Yeah, and
listen, you know, let me say this. I get an opportunity to talk with a lot of mayors around the country, big, you know, mid-sized, small cities, suburbia, all the way through. This is a challenge throughout the country. It doesn't matter if you're in the Mountain West, the Pacific Northwest, the Northeast, the South, I mean, Midwest. It's an issue everywhere for different reasons. Some it really is a lack of affordable and available housing. For others, it is a lack of, you know, healthcare services for veterans and people who are struggling. For others, you know, it's just a challenge of day-to-day life and some of the things that they're going through. And, you know, everybody's trying to figure out what's that solution. That's why whether it's the U.S. Conference of Mayors or the African American Mayors Association or the National League of Cities, they are all task force on homelessness that try to address this. And those rooms, whether they be virtual or whether they be in person, those rooms are probably the most packed sessions that you have, probably outside of public safety. Mm-hmm. Public safety is always, you know, just overflow. But right behind that, even before economic development and things along those lines, you will see, I mean, mayors just sitting next to each other. I mean, just squeezing in like we used to do at church, trying to find solutions and trying to find, you know, what are the best practices to do it legally. And unfortunately, regardless of what state you're in, you know, you deal with some restrictions. I mean, some states, you know, have tent cities set up, and these are very wealthy cities and very progressive cities in terms of their growth. It's just not something you snap your finger and make go away.
There's that word that gets me all the time.
What's that?
And that word progressive. It seems to me there's some philosophical issues of leadership around this nation right now. In most of those cities that are under this scourge of homelessness and things and high crime, most of them are ran by a Democratic Party.
That's not true.
Well, name me a city that's not.
David Holt is dealing with that right now in Oklahoma City.
I say most of the cities, not all.
I can give you some other ones that aren't as well. Miami is the same way. Francis Suarez, I mean, bigger Republican as you're gonna get. I mean, they have those same challenges as well. So it's not a matter of red or blue. It's a matter of what the law says you can do in your state.
But laws are made by people.
Yeah, but and you and I both know most legislatures are Republicans, and you and I both know that most cities in the South don't have home rule.
It's kind of hard though after 139 years of one party to change it overnight. I mean, you know, but that's a whole different. That's a whole different thing.
I'm just talking about the last 2 years I've been in office.
Okay.
So,
I noticed the other day in the paper yesterday said the shootings have been, well, the death from shootings have been somewhat down since then. And it's always good. So I can't even get on you about that because you know you didn't have anything to do with it. I mean you're the leader, but I mean when it's high, it's not your fault.
Yeah.
When it's low, We hope that that's because you guys are doing something. But there seems to be the one thing about I certainly got a bone to pick with you on this not wanting. Everybody that's panhandling is not homeless. It's a hustle.
So
Okay, it's a hustle. And again, the state law that says you can't do this, you seem to want to ignore it. And it's plain and simple in the state law that you cannot walk around the streets and beg for stuff. I mean, that's there.
Well, listen, what we're doing, and city council has been very active in this, is we're trying to see, based on the city's lawsuit that we settled when I got in.
Why did you settle it? Why not take them to court? You got a bunch of lawyers down. Take them to court.
You had to choose which battles to fight, Kevin, and which ones just kind of to let lie. And that was one that, quite frankly, I didn't think we were going to win. If I think we were going to win, I'm fine with doing that. But the second thing is, times have changed, and the organizations that brought the lawsuit wanted to see some challenges. Want to see some changes. And so we were challenged on what we were doing. With that said, what we have had to try to do is adapt to where the law is and where cities are. So irrespective of, what the state law says about panhandling, we don't want our detectives and we don't want our rank and file police officers focusing their time on someone who's on a corner, whether it be Mulberry Jackson and somebody that I see all the time, or whether it be Eastern Boulevard, somebody I see all the time, or whether it be anywhere else outside of East Chase. We don't want them. We want them fighting crime. We want them fighting. We want them fighting property crime. We want them fighting domestic violence.
And we do.
And we want them monitoring traffic and obviously trying to bring down the shooting. So now here's what I have proposed, and I think you'll see it in this budget. The city council approves it. We do want to have an intervention team. We do want to have a separate team that goes out and that does try to connect those that are panhandling with services and with other organizations that may be able to help, and those that want the help. Now, others that do not want the help, all right, we're going to start with the help. Others that do not want the help, what we will then do is we will make them aware of the laws that exist. No loitering, no trespassing, and these are things that you cannot do. Now, what we've got right now are some issues about whether or not you can do things on the right of way, all right? And can we remove them from the right of way? And so we've got to make sure, we flush that out. So if that person that's right off of, I-85 and one of these interstate changes, can we move them if that's not technically a local street? So those are the things that we're into as we try to deal with it.
Our numbers are 860-1440. If you want to give us a call, Mayor Reed is here with us this morning, taking your calls as many as I can get in. One more question for you, Mr. Mayor, and we're going to let the callers talk to you. I was on Facebook the other night.
Wait a minute.
What?
You're on Facebook?
Yeah, I'm always there.
You go live?
I go live every morning. But listen, I was on Facebook the other night, and you were taking the task about something that, and I spend more time defending you than I do agreeing with people about, because I think overwhelmingly you do a pretty decent job. So I don't have. Well, you ain't perfect.
Well, no, there's a big gap between decent and perfect. That's kind of A and a C. You were a C student at best.
I got you.
There's a little bit between that high A and,
that's true. But at the end of the day, what do they call a doctor with a C, with a C average, and the doctor with an A average?
Unemployed.
They call him a doctor.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they still call him a doctor.
But listen, I'm not gonna call him at all.
Okay. The Black Lives Matter thing, which is right downtown here. Yeah. There are some people who find that a little political on the public right of way and on the public property. Why did you allow that to happen?
Oh, I thought it was a great idea, and it wasn't my idea. My idea was to do something in protest of the murder of George Floyd. And I did not want to do what I had seen other cities do, which was paint streets. So I didn't want to do that. But I wanted to make a visible statement that we stood with the group and we stood with the organization. and more important, we stood with the premise and the purpose of why it exists. And the idea came from the arts community about that spot. And I thought it was just a magnificent idea because I couldn't quite figure out, I knew that there was a frustration and an anger inside me, no different than there were a lot of black, white, brown, and other people as well at what took place. So when that came to me, I thought it was a great idea given the history. And listen, I thought it was great to give those who perpetuated what took place on that spot, the selling of slaves, the middle finger. So I thought there was some good irony in what was presented at that time. So what better place than to do that?
Okay, let's take a call. I'm with you. Good morning on air.
A couple questions. First one, if you thought that BLM thing was such a great idea, why did the chief of staff lie and say it was water-soluble paint put down?
Well, I don't know if he lied or said anything. I can just tell you what I said. Well, just because you said it doesn't make it a lie. So keep going. What's your question? Do you have a question?
Yeah.
Well, you started off. Then you started that off. I respond how you act. Well, preachers like to say, "I'll meet you where you are." As we said in the council meeting, there have been some allegations of financial improprieties, and anytime we have serious allegations of mismanagement of public funds, we take that step by step, and we let our investigations team guide us on that. Sometimes it can be weeks, sometimes it can be a little longer. So until we get that.
You for trying to get a override a program where you have to have a bid process?
No, I don't know what you're talking about. You mean the minority business program? Well, wait, you have. Wait, I love it when people like you call. See, I like to engage like this. See, no, people like you who want to say I tried to override something. Now, that's a bold-faced lie. Don't make up stuff. So you don't expect me to respond, but I will respond where you are. If you have an issue with the minority business program, just say you have an issue with black businesses getting city contracts. Just say that. Just say that. What's that? Did what? No, that's stupid. That's idiotic and it's illegal. No. So you got two questions.
Quickly.
What in Montgomery is improved since you've been in office? What is the accomplishment you've proud of?
Man, I thank you so much. Thank you so much. Listen, I can talk for the rest of the hour, but I won't. What have we improved in? One, we did the first zoning plan in the last 60 years. We completed a strategic plan in the last 57 years. One, we've got the highest reserves in the last 30 years. We got $40 million in savings, which we haven't seen since the 80s. So we have a fire department that's one of, I think, the only fire and rescue department that is accredited in the state. We've got crime that's down 20%, murders that's down now 27% year over year. I think that's pretty good, but I can keep on going. We got $1 billion that's been brought to this community in the last 12 months, and $4 billion is in the works. So if you want me to keep going, well, let me go with education. Then we pass this investment in public education for the first time in almost 40 years. I'd say we got some pretty good things going on, and we gave our police officers the first double-digit raise that they've had in well over 15 years, and sanitation workers a 19% raise as well. And we are giving merit raises, and we have given merit raises and cost of benefit adjustments for retirees. Now, I can keep on going with parks and recreation, lowering the bond debt, lowering what we owe to the market. I can keep on going, but I'll stop since Kevin has some other callers.
Yeah, I do. Speaking of Parks and Recreation, Ben, I'm a member of that illustrious board, and I thank you for giving us a director. Now, of course, what do the boards mean to you? Because it seems like this one doesn't mean a whole hell of a lot. We don't really have much influence. We don't really ever have a meeting. Why do we get rid of the boards if they don't mean a whole hell of a lot?
That's a question for the city council. The city council appoints those board members, and the city council has the authority.
I mean, the boards, but do you agree with the board, with the board structure? Do you believe we need them?
I don't believe in the structure. I mean, I've said that. I think that, there are things like the airport authority and others which ought to have input in. So let me be clear about that. I think there are other boards, the museum board and others that play a vital role in the community. I think any organization is as relevant as it wants to be and as it needs to be. That's just like anything else that we do by committee. So I think if the Parks and Recreation Board wants more say so, then they can make that known to those council members who are very interested in our Parks and Recreation facilities. There are many of them. And I think that, bringing that to their attention and coming down to the work session, to ask kind of what's happening and what's going on, then those are things that they ought to bring to the table.
Okay, that's fair.
But let me say this. It's interesting. We start with the conspiracy caller. That's why I kind of like engaging in radio like this. People say, well, why do you need to do talk radio anymore when you got social and things along those lines? I like to get it from the people, because what you don't often get in an interview, press conference and things like that, you can't quite get the back and forth. So you can't call out the nonsense. You can't call out the BS. And you can't call people on what they stand on. For somebody to make an assertion that we want to override it, but that has never been the case whatsoever. What some people really have is an issue when you talk about equity. And when you talk about equity, particularly when it comes to money and economics, and you're talking about Black entrepreneurs, women, leaders and organizations being brought to the table, some people get scared about that. These are people who've been at the trough for the city of Montgomery for decades, and they feel it's a birthright. And it's not. You have to compete like I got to compete. So when we're talking about programs the city council has passed to increase things that will build our economy and grow our job base, why would somebody use a code word or some type of smoke screen as for us doing something or me doing something illegal when I was a judge for 7 years? I mean, I was never cited for anything. I mean, I think I know the law pretty good. My attorney was an attorney. I think I know that pretty good. So let's not get into, what somebody said on Facebook. You got an issue with something, or you feel, threatened by a policy decision, then just say that. Don't hide under something else. That's why I like coming on your show, Kevin, because I get the conspiracy callers and I can call them out on their craziness. Next up.
Good morning on there, the mayor. Are you on the road? Yeah.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Hey, Mayor, don't pay that fool attention. He's a proud boy, and he's an ex-KKK member. If he has his way, he'll try to hang you from a tree.
Well, listen, better come correct.
Okay.
You have a good day.
Appreciate it. See, somebody told me to ask you about the meters down by the tag place. Whether I don't know what that means.
Parking meters?
I guess I don't.
I can tell you that we're trying to get more signage, and we want people to use the app and less coins, because we know people don't carry loose change. And that was something that was covered within the last month with our head of general services. So, and we are aware of that also with tourists, they aren't quite used to, you go to another city, you can Birmingham, you go to Auburn, you can just do things kind of via smartphone. Not everybody has one. My parents don't have one. But we are trying to make sure that there's more signs and more visibility so people understand where you can park and what the limit is and that sort of thing.
Although I will tell you, we're in a city that pays 10% sales tax collectively with the state and the county and everybody else.
Which is too high, by the way.
Right. But since we are paying it, why should we have to pay to park downtown anyway?
Well, the sales tax goes to fund other things because we got a cheap property tax.
But you're getting enough money on the sales tax to make up for that.
Sales taxes are up, and we're grateful. So a lot in tax revenue. But listen, you get what you pay for, Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
You can't want first class amenities on bus class service now.
Well, and that's a good Democrat answer. But at the end of the day, we still paying.
Y'all believe in Reaganomics, and that's trickle down economics. So that's not.
Yeah. The problem is I'm getting all the trickle. I ain't get to keep none of my money. But the problem is we just went after all of these taxes that we already pay, which inflation going up. I mean, we shouldn't have to pay to come downtown to spend money. We just shouldn't have to do that.
Well, how do you then?
First come, first serve.
Oh, come on now. Listen, this is not Mayberry anymore, Kevin. You come on now. You got to do better than that. Go to a city that you want Montgomery to be like, which I hear Huntsville now and every other place. If you go there and see what you're gonna pay when you go downtown. I can promise you.
I don't live there. I live here in Montgomery.
Exactly.
Alabama.
Don't you want it to grow and flourish, Mr. Parks and Recreation Board?
Yeah.
Don't you want us to improve
Lagoon
Park and Gateway Park and all these facilities?
I don't think them tickets downtown, them meters downtown are gonna fund that.
Well, it funds other things, so it allows us to take that money and put it where it needs to be.
One more thing before I go to the phone.
Yes, sir.
Traffic tickets. Not a moratorium, But we need to give some of these young folks a break who screwed up 20 years ago, 15 years ago. Why don't we just clear the books on these people, some of these fines? Why don't we just clear
I
the
think
books?
it's a great idea. It's something that we're looking into, and we're kicking the tires on that, dotting our I's and crossing our T's. So you and I on the same page with that.
Right.
And not just traffic tickets too. There's some other misdemeanor.
Good morning, caller, you on there.
Good morning, Mayor Reed.
Good morning, sir.
And I had to say Mayor Reed because if I had said good morning, Mayor Kevin would have.
I would have said, yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Well, look, Alvin Holmes said a long time ago that the city of Montgomery didn't have deputy mayors. You know, that's when Jeff Downs said there's deputy mayors, and the late great Alvin Holmes said we don't have no such thing as deputy mayor because there's nothing come through the legislation, and he was the chair of the local delegation. So I don't know how Kevin thinks that he can be deputy mayor or any other mayor.
I'm mayor of the airways, brother.
But
Mayor of the airways.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Previous caller that challenged that, and you mentioned a lot of the accomplishments, but it was tough for the audience to really distinguish because he was kind of talking.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I do think that people would really look at the record and not the rhetoric. They would see the vast improvement, as you indicated, in the last 40 years. One of the things I think that I'm proud of that you have brought into the administration an economic development position.
Yes, sir.
That wake up every day.
Yep.
Looking out for the citizen in this community regarding economic development. Can you talk a little bit about that position, and I'll hang up and listen to your response?
Absolutely. Let me say thank you for the call and thanks for the congratulations. And again, I may have been a little too close to the microphone too, so that may have been me. Listen, I just had a good workout this morning, so I feel good right about now. The economic development position is something that the city had not had. And it's almost like you having this, we're about to be in football season. It's almost like you having a football team and you don't have an offensive coordinator, or since we are in baseball season, not having a third base coach. You got to make sure that you have someone who wakes up, goes through the day and dreams about economic development and growing jobs, bringing retail to underserved corridors, working with small businesses and entrepreneurs to help them grow so that as a city, we can put together the things that we need to do. What we realized in the first year of the administration, right after we kind of did our transition report, was most cities, including Birmingham and others, had so many tools in their economic development toolbox that Montgomery did not have. And this is not something that is a shot at any administration. It's just the fact that we didn't have, as a community, those things that people don't see that really promote and help you grow, retain, and recruit great jobs and help your small business community, regardless of their size, regardless of how long they have been in existence, to grow by connecting them to the SBA, connecting them to the Department of Commerce programs, connecting them to corporate and philanthropic funding, and even private sector funding that's available for partnerships. Those are things that we need, but also giving us policy recommendations that we need. I mentioned the zoning piece for a big reason, because when I ask developers, not only in this city, but around the state and around the Southeast, what's the number one issue that helps you determine whether or not you develop in a place or not? Many of them said, almost to a person, your zoning and how easy is it for me to do business with the city. If I have any issues with one of those, then I may be looking at a different market.
Okay,
so
we'll
that's
come
all
back.
about that person there.
We'll come back.
We're looking forward to it.
We'll come back, take the calls and comments right after this. Our guest is the mayor of the city of Montgomery, Honorable Stephen L. Reed. Don't know what the L stands for, but
Lewis.
Lewis. Okay, we'll be back right after this.
Weather forecast on News Radio 1440.
Sponsored by
I gotta do that in the future, get rid of some commercials up front.
Blindster.com offers custom
Then you
made
get, then you get in.
Then you can blow up a conspiracy theories, what they call it.
What he was talking about, and I'm ignorant to, but it was said that the guy who was buying the feed for the horse, whatever, he wanted to bid it out, and
I can stop you right there.
okay. And that's why I don't comment, because there's always two sides to every story. But we do know that
I don't keep up with horse feed. Let me just say, I don't wake up in the morning. Look, I check the police blotter. That's first thing. Let's pray to the Lord and let's cross our fingers that the night was at least decent.
Yeah.
She tell me what's going on. All right, make sure we don't have any fire casualties. Okay, now let's start. Okay, sanitation. Okay, now let's start and let's be. I ain't taking horse feed. Okay,
right.
That's just not something that
But now, what is the law as it pertains to bidding? Isn't there a certain amount of money that you don't have to bid? I know years ago it was $8,000. Somebody said it didn't.
It may be 10. I have to double check.
It's not that important to me.
Yeah, it may be that, but no, that wasn't.
Okay. Again, the lady goes on Facebook, really kind of dogs you guys over there about stopping this program, therapeutic horses and things of that nature. And now, the average eye read that at first, we think, well, why would somebody do that to help those poor little kids? Because horses have been shown to
other companies.
The city doesn't own horses. The city doesn't own horses. So there's a whole lot of issues in a whole lot of things.
Horses don't belong to
$22 a month. I'm Select Quote Agent Dan Savino, and believe me.
Of course, I'm on Parks and Rec. We never have a meeting, so I wouldn't.
Why don't you go to the Parks and Rec committee?
Because I done called.
No, it's not call. Why don't you call the city council? They appoint the committee. Carr don't appoint the committee.
No, I mean, but none of us seem to. I mean, we got a chairman who
since 1985.
Who's chair?
We can see whatever his name is. I said, well, why do we have this thing? Because I went out on Lagoon Park. I went to Lagoon Park a couple months ago, and they were having a big time tennis thing out there for people in wheelchairs. National thing.
After realizing it was irritable
We didn't know
bowel
nothing
syndrome
about
and
it. Of course, now
constipation
you
and
came with
IBS-C,
the
he found
park
another
thing
way
when we didn't know
and
nothing about
finally
it.
said
The what?
yes to
The park
adding
thing that
Linzess.
day when you all dedicate this place for a park, and we didn't know nothing about nothing.
Linzess works differently.
A couple months ago, you was in the newspaper dedicating the park over there on
overall abdominal symptoms.
I know you do a
Oh,
lot
the
of
little shady street.
Yeah,
The
yes.
little- that's for the more of a trail.
But we on the board, nobody told us anything. We found out in the paper like everybody else did.
Immediate help if you develop
That's height of disrespect.
Who is the CC and Rondé? All of them.
Yeah, they're all.
But they're all innocent parts of recreation. And you talk, we'll get card, we'll do whatever we do to keep, look, if you need to change the chairman, we'll do the chairman, just change out the chairman.
I was going to, but I didn't know how to do parliamentary procedures and things of that nature, so I didn't want to look like a fool.
No, we don't want you to do that. There are others who do that.
Yeah, I don't want to. But then again, I'd rather have it looking like bad, actually getting something done, than looking all sophisticated and getting nothing done.
Right.
And that's where we are right now. We're not going to get anything done. But I go to the parks. I talk to people sometimes. One of the things that I would suggest that we do is on Bond Road, the little park right there, right across the street from Bond Road, Bond Church. They wanted some flowers to make it look kind of pleasant, Right now, it just looks like a track field.
I had given up until I went to the clinic and realized there were more options for erectile dysfunction.
That's your boy.
He's an oatmeal.
All testing, including
He's an oatmeal, man. We enjoying this, man. We like to call out the good conspiracy calls. All good.
Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking guaranteed for only $49.99. That's right, weight loss seminar Wednesday, July 27th.
There was something else I wanted to run by you.
Time is 5:30.
We got some listen for West Side.
Registration begins at 5 p.m. Stop smoking seminar starts at 8 p.m.
Your brother's here.
Starts at 7:30 p.m.
He's smart, witty, and fast on the
They told me royalty was in the building.
When they come in, you let me know now.
Okay. You be the first one I tell.
Hey,
Everything good?
Everything good.
Okay. All right.
How you doing?
Hanging in there.
Hey, I got
Had
a-
a rough week last week with baseball and radio, and
Oh, wow.
my voice was shot by the end of the week.
So tell me, what's your trick? Is it green tea?
Hot tea and lemon,
Hot tea and lemon?
and a little dash of whiskey.
Oh, that never hurts.
All right,
See.
then. We are back. Before I get back to the mayor, talking about economic development and things of that nature. Well, let me tell you about somebody who's really doing a great job giving back to this community and providing you with a great service, and that is J.O. Lane Truck and Auto. JOLaneTruckandAuto.com. Go there, look at the inventory. They got all kind of cars there, cars that have been through a rigorous process of testing, rigorous process of inspecting. So make sure when you drive off the lot, you don't have to drive right back and take it. They do a great job. And you don't have to worry about credit, with Experian, all the rest of them guys too. Matter of fact, I had a credit score one time with 299.
Don't tell people that.
Well, I just
don't tell the young people that. I hope no young people.
Well, I'm just saying, I don't have it that bad anymore. I'm up there. Yeah, I thought I used to have it 299.
All right.
Now I'm like an 850.
Wait a second.
Yeah, I'm up. I can buy anything. That's the amazing thing about credit. When you really need it, you can't get it. Now that I don't need it, I can get all of it. I don't quite understand that. But anyway, JL Lane Truck and Auto, JLLaneTruckandAuto.com, 272-4313. And here's another thing. You can pay there and you can buy there. So you don't have to worry about kissing the ring of some of them big companies. He is the man, Jim Lane, or talk to Steve over there, and they will get you in the car of your something that you like. They got a nice Lexus over there trying to get somebody to buy for their child or for your old lady or something like that. But get one for, okay? So if you're ready to ride, you want to give up those heels and get some wheels and help the economy out at the same time, 208 Gun Road, 208 Gun Road, 272-4313. But go on the website, JLLaneTruckandAuto.com, and you can see his inventory and the car, and their cars that's not on there right now because they just got them in. So you might want to go by that 208 Gun Road. One of these days I'm gonna tell you how to get there, but I'm pretty sure you got a GPS in your car or something like that. If you don't, put one on your phone. You can find it while you're riding your bike. Okay, so call to Steve or talk to him. But 272-4313. Don't forget, you can buy there, you can pay there. So don't worry about your credit. Go see them. They'll help you. All right, really. JL Lane Truck and Auto. Our guest this morning is the mayor of the city of Montgomery. That is Mr. Stephen Lewis Reed. That's right. He's here, right here, and he's feisty this morning. So y'all make sure you
feel good this morning.
Make sure you get your act together. Good morning on air. Yes.
Good morning. How you doing?
Pretty good.
Mayor Reed, how you doing this morning?
I feel great, fantastic. Good to hear from you.
Yeah, good. That was thank you. Yeah, I was just glad to listen.
Always good to hear from you, my friend.
This morning, because I like for a man to come in and just take the heat in the kitchen when you're not there. They beat you, put their conviction by the head and shoulders. Now all them naysayers, I want them to call you now, but I know you'll as your child and say you're a big boy. You can wear your pants. I wish they would call and make all those lies and making accusations that I know not true. I don't get around much. I don't but I think you're doing a fantastic job.
Thank you.
Well, fantastic is, that's fantastic is kind of like he's doing an okay job, but
that might not apply to you, El. Because let the Reverend.
Okay, I'm sorry.
He's gonna mess it.
Yeah, I wish you. Yeah, okay. I shut up. I'm bad. Okay.
He's doing a fantastic job, and as we say, he comes from a good family. He's supposed to do a great job.
Thank you, sir.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And some opinion problems on him why he lives, and I'm not sucking up to him. He's just doing it. When he was saying a few minutes ago, all the things that I didn't know that. But if you listen to these naysayers, they talk like he's not doing nothing down there. You know it, Kevin.
Well, I know it, and yeah.
You try to defend him, right?
Well, because I think a lot of the criticism he gets is wrongly placed. Not all of it, but some of it. Yeah.
And you keep doing the good work, and one of these days, my son back in town, I get him to bring me down there, and I like to talk to you person. They say they can't get in touch with. I'm pretty sure if they have some initiative to talk about, you don't mind talking to them.
Not at all.
With the foolishness.
That's right. Look, we got time for you.
Appreciate
so
it.
when you need to get down there, you just holler at us.
All right.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Appreciate you.
Good morning, on the air with the mayor.
Hey, Kevin, good morning.
Morning.
It's Mayor Reed, good morning.
Hey, good morning. How you doing?
Hey, doing well. Hey, Mayor Reed, I want to, applaud you for doing a great job. I mean, you're innovative. You're doing your thing, and keep your head up. Stay strong. I foresee a great future for you.
Thank you.
Youth is on your side, and I mean, you're doing great things. So just know that you have supporters out there.
Thank you.
Right, and Kevin, the other day you was asking, why vote? Why voting is necessary. If everything is not going to change anything, well, I can tell you, voting is necessary. Look at the guy next to you.
Well, I mean, local votes I'm all for, but I don't know about the national scene. Nobody ever calls me and asks me anything, so I don't know. Yeah.
You got to have a government in place that's willing to actually understand, the need of people that looks like him. Not only that, but the need of people that are, in the same economic status as really most America is. Most of America.
All right.
So voting is very necessary.
All right.
But I just want to say, accolades to you. Thank you for coming to Kevin's show. It's great, great knowing that we can, pretty much reach out to you when we need.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Mayor, let me ask you a question. I was talking to the police chief last night. I guess we're about 80 officers short, which is actually better than we've been in a while, because we were. One of the things that some of the police officers, when I have an opportunity to talk to, one of the things that some of them feel, our white police officers feel, as though they feel like the roles have been reversed and they have been sort of relegated to clean up and mop up, and they've been given a certain amount of disrespect. Again, the chief said now that's not true, and I don't know. But if people feel that way, are you doing the best you can to make sure that everybody is included? I mean, I know you do the LGBT and all that stuff. You make sure they're included. But I want to make sure that the people, that we don't subject people to the attitudes that we as Black folks had to put up with for years.
Yeah, I think that, from our standpoint, we want to have a culture that works for everybody. We want to have a culture that really motivates everyone for maximum performance, whether you're with street maintenance, whether you're with, parks and recreation, you're at the zoo, or you're with, building inspections, or you're one of the first responders. So I think you have to hear some of those complaints, regardless of where they're coming from, and then look into them and see what the issue is. But I try to tell any of them, the 2,600 or so city employees that I may see at a grocery store, I may see at a ball game, or I may see just somewhere out eating lunch or something like that, is, if you got an issue, let us know. And many of them say, well, hey, we can't do that because there may be retaliation, right? And what we try to do, and in particular, they talk to me, it is, let's work the process. I can't do anything on third hand, circumstantial information. He said, she said. Let's work the process and let's look into it, and we're going to be fair and objective about that. Now, knowing Chief Albert and the type of police department that he worked in for 30 years down in New Orleans, there's a little bit of everybody in New Orleans, from all over the place. So I know that he's going to run a good shop, and he's going to run a tight ship, because he comes from the background of the only thing that matters is, the culture and how that produces the end results that we want to get.
Yeah. Go back to phones. Good morning, on air.
Hey, good morning. Mr. Mayor,
yes, sir.
We'll be heading to Montgomery today. In fact, I am right now. Going
Great.
to the Coliseum. What are the renovations that are going to be done by the city for that?
Well, we got a $5 million grant from the state when we took over the Coliseum from the state of Alabama, and some of those renovations have already taken place and some are in process, and that involves improving the locker rooms for some of the tournaments that are held there. That involves improving fixing some of the roof. I don't know if it'll be an entire roof replacement. That's why I said some of the roof. And then there's some other lighting issues that have already been done to really improve the lighting in there, so that you can really do more TV and video working than you could before. Now, hopefully that will allow us to, really attract some different type of events, even, concerts there besides just the rodeo and the fair and some of the high school tournaments that we have. But that's where we are right now with the Coliseum. But let me say this. The Coliseum is a stopgap for us. The Coliseum is not the future for this city. The future for this city is going to have to look and feel a lot different than the Coliseum for events. We just can't be in a 70-year-old building and expect that we're going to get the type of events that Huntsville and even Tuscaloosa can get, much less if you get down to Birmingham and Mobile. So we'll be looking into what some future plans may be for an event space that can host anything from rodeo to a tournament to a great concert. And that there'll be more discussion on that in the upcoming months.
Okay, well, is there any plans, are there any plans at this moment for the livestock facilities there? Because that's what I'm heading there for.
Yes, sir. That's one of the things where we really have had to make some tough decisions about how far in do you go to fix that. And we have different opinions. Some who think that it's too far gone, you won't get your return on investment if you try to put it there. And then there are others who are still pushing for us to try to make some improvements there. I don't think, to be candid with you, that's at the top of the list, but it certainly is on the list. We just have not figured out, in all honesty, how far to go with the livestock and improving the horse stalls and some of the other grounds, some of the other facilities on the grounds that people like yourself and many others really depend on for their animals.
Yeah, well, we have hundreds of people that will be in town this week, and that is a draw for Montgomery for certain.
Yes, sir. And we are well aware of that, and that's why we want to build for the future, and we want to look at what's going to keep people like yourself coming, but also what's going to bring in even other events, livestock, rodeos, and other events, horse shows as well. So again, there'll be some more discussion about that you'll hear in the upcoming months. We just got to acknowledge that sometimes a facility gets so old, whether it's a public school or whether it's an office building, and sometimes even event space, that you just have to kind of say, we're going to hit the reset button and move on.
You got two more calls, and we're going to give you the last word. Good morning on air.
Good morning, Mr. Mayor.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Hold on.
Yes, sir.
See all, hear all, and know all. Have a good day, my friend.
Thank you, sir.
All right, then. Good morning on air with the mayor. Good morning.
Hello?
Yes.
Yes, I'd like to ask the mayor a question, please.
Yeah, he's listening to you right now.
Oh, okay. All right, thank you. Mr. Mayor, I have a question about Buddy Watson baseball field over here on Taylor Road.
Mm-hmm.
I would like for maybe you just to walk through and just see what can be done. This past 2 years, my son plays out there, and it just needs a lot of cleanup with all the mildew, with the grass and weeds growing through benches, and grease traps. You have to walk through it. It's overflowing. You have to actually walk through the grease puddles to get to the fields around the back of the building. There's just a lot of mildew on the bricks, and like I said, there's a couple of times where we were playing ball, and the balls were going to the backstop, landing in styrofoam cups and stuff, and it's just, I've been around, I'm a traveling salesperson. I go to Auburn, I go to Wetumpka, I go to all these places, and I just see just a lot of difference between their ball fields and our ball field, and I just don't think it's getting the proper need. Especially if I was coming out of town and wanted to come live here, it just would pull me to live here for my son to play ball. I just wanted to kind of concern that and bring that out to you.
Thank you.
Go out there and just do a walkthrough.
I will do that, and I've done that at some of our other facilities. I have not walked Buddy Watson, so I will do that. And let me tell you, I was just saying to Kevin while we were off air, he's on the Parks and Recreation Board. There's a lot of emphasis on our sports facilities. We realize not only for the residents here, but for us to, again, attract people like yourself and keep the folks that are living here, they want things for their kids and their grandkids to do. They want them to be able to get outside and have a first-class event space or first-class facility, regardless of the sport. And we also realize that with travel ball and other youth tournaments, that's a moneymaker. So we're putting dollars, millions of dollars actually into our facilities around this city, and I think that we'll be adding some more based on the last meeting we had with city and county elected officials in some of our parks and recreation. And I'll make sure I get out there, because you're exactly right. We've got to keep up and maybe even reclaim our leadership stake when it comes to sports facilities around the state. So thank you so much for that comment, and I'll make sure to walk it.
Okay. Good morning. Your name is the mayor. Yes. Yes. That's you.
Hey, good morning, Mary.
Good morning, sir.
It's something that's been eating at me for a minute now,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the Mississippi Council line, because I still got a problem with them not checking on COVID there in District 7. What's the current update on that? Is those lines fine or what? I'm going to hang up and y'all have a blessed day.
Okay.
That question has been brought to me by several people in the community, and I don't have the legal answer on that just yet. I know the council did vote on it. There's some who think that the mayor, per Act 618, is obligated by law and statute to present a plan, of which I have not. And if that's the case, then there may be an opportunity to go back to the drawing board. But I know there was a lot of there was a lot of concern about the district lines and how they were drawn and who drew them, to be quite honest with you. And so that's something that I'm concerned about as well. And even though I've run countywide and citywide, I'm still concerned to make sure that, there is adequate representation relative to the city population in our city council districts. So we'll probably be taking a look at that, because that's starting to pick up a little bit more steam as I talk to people around the community.
All right, take one more call. You're it for the mayor. Good morning. Good morning. You quickly.
Good morning, Mayor.
Good morning.
I'll see you later, Mayor. Okay, thank you.
Okay then. Good morning. Your name is the mayor. We running out of time. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
It's been over 30 years. Joe been having the mayor on his show. Won't you pop up on Joe's show here once in a while?
Joe who?
Joe Hager.
Oh, well, once you get, wait a minute. Once you go to first string, why go to second string? I mean, come on.
He only have a little bit more than you.
No, we've been on there about the same amount of time. Matter of fact, he on varsity right now.
Can I call in?
Well, he said you can come on his show.
But can I call in? Because he's on at 5 a.m.?
No, in the afternoon.
Okay. We'll check that out. That'd be good. That sounds like a little fun.
Appreciate it. Okay, I gotta go. It's over. Mayor, thank you for coming. You got to do this more often.
Hey, listen, we will. A lot of good news in Montgomery. Thanks so much to the community for helping make it happen, and all the first responders and essential workers for keeping us going throughout this ongoing COVID issue.
All right.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Good morning, I'm Jasmine Williams with WSS.
All right, man.
What's happening this Thursday? Prisoner deaths have many raising questions.
Well, you did pretty good today. Now you got to.
Listen, man, I got
but see, you got to learn not to give reverend answers.
Huh?
Okay.
Oh, reverend answers.
Don't give me sermons. I can get more people in.
They want some depth. They want depth. If I come out and say
well,
yes, no, maybe.
Wait a minute, depth take time.
Well, right.
This is radio. We ain't got a whole lot of time.
All right, what I'm gonna do next time?
Yeah, keep your answers to at least 45 seconds.
Okay, well,
that way more people can get in.
Okay, we'll do that.
I think this is church.
He asked me what good things had happened.
Yeah, I know.
So, I mean, when you give me a fastball right down the middle of the plate.
Well, yeah, you got to hit it.
That's right.
You got to hit it. I ain't gonna lie.
Well, we're gonna do that. That's good.
Them boots got to go.
Hey man, look, these rain boots, man.
That don't speak good for Morehouse.
Radio 1440 WLWI AM, the home of the Dan Bongino Show. Also on 95.1 HD3 FM, Montgomery, Alabama, a Cumulus media station.
Almost 3 million people use Navage to breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthy. I'm Martin Hoke, and I invented Navage, the world's only nose cleaner that helps flush out airborne germs with powered suction. But what do doctors have to say about Navage? Here's Dr. Tony Farmer, a board-certified ear, nose, and throat specialist.
Most airborne allergens, viral mutations through your nose. When that happens, you can get congestion and irritation, and that just makes you feel miserable. You can get a cold, you can get
Need a new computer, man.
infections, or even
That one you built that I still have today ain't working no more because lightning hit and the surge protector didn't work.
Did you have, now those surge protectors come with some sort of insurance?
It's probably so old.
Oh.
So you probably don't even remember building.
I don't.
For me. Remember the tower's about this big.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
been a minute.
It's been a long time.
Because we made them, they made towers like that in years.
I know. And when I took it up to Geek one time, they was like, this dinosaur you